giving it a title afterwards, since I can't edit it while streaming. But yeah, this is. But yeah, so hi everybody. This is Lord Inquisitor Dunn, also known as Kai or Dunn, whichever. And this is my good buddy, the voice of the Three Eyed Theorist, known as Boba Blackfly, and also Steve.
You can call me Steve, or you can call me Boba Blackfly, or you can call me, hey, did you see this one? Oh, or you can call me, let's explore the depths of it in the video. That's what everyone, that's what my mom and dad call me now. They're like, hey, well, let's explore the depths of the video. Get over here. I'm like, I don't want to hang out with you, mom and dad.
Yeah. So he is the voice of the Three Eyed Theorist, and I've been good buddies with him for a while, and I was thinking, I've been doing these commentaries for a little bit, and I was thinking, I want to get the actual voice actor to kind of come on and talk about some of his process on things, because I think it would be really cool.
And I wanted to come on so that I could show you how much I yell at him every time he writes something twisted in his script. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why would you write that? I don't want to say that on the internet. You realize it's my voice that's going to be out there forever, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Just wanted to make sure that you knew
that. Yeah, let me think. Which one that would be good?
I'm also wearing my headache crown. When I get a headache, it has like a perfect tightness. You know when you get a migraine and you're like, when you squeeze, like this actually helps. It helps me.
Yeah, everybody kind of like massages their temples, you know.
Yeah. I can just tighten this with a couple of like, and I'm like, and then I feel good.
I'm kind of trying to pick one that doesn't have any horniness in it.
I mean, honestly, if you want a good conversation, you should put some horny episodes up, because I will be like, and then he said this, and I was like, not happening, pal. Not in this episode, not never. I wonder if I remember, because I know there's a few episodes that I remember the vitriol that I was feeling, like, because you were like sort of new to the channel. I was like, who is this pervert? Like, why does he keep trying to get me to say the nastiest shit on the internet?
I think it was this one was kind of like the one where this was the one with Jamie and Cersei getting into a throuple deal, and that was the one where like, what? That was the one that broke you, I think, where you were like, dude, no.
Is that the one where I first decided to be like, excuse me, we haven't met yet, but what the fuck are you doing? And you're like, yeah, well, you know, that's what they would do. I'm like, that's not what they would do. Why are you doing this? Stop that.
Yeah, that was kind of the one where you're like, I think it was in when you were reading the script, it was in bold, I hate this.
I do that to your scripts a lot. I think one of the scripts you sent me today, I just put a tired face, like I'm so tired. Why am I dealing with this right now?
Yeah, sorry, it went over by about 200 words, but I was able to snip it down by migrating the editor instructions into the comments.
Yeah, I was hoping that you would snip it down by removing some of the words from the things that I have to say. You sick fuck. Yeah. Also, am I allowed to swear on this? I forgot to ask.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. No, you can swear as much as you want. I've had a lot of pithy people on my show, so don't worry.
Fine.
The 200 word count, the 200 over, I think about 100 of it was editor direction. Was editor directions. So I snipped out a bunch of other things and got it down to including the direction. Well, including the other stuff, it's just over, like, including the intro and outro, it's just 40 words over.
Oh, just 40 words over? Just okay. As long as you followed the rules and didn't go over 10,000 words, you son of a bitch. What the fuck?
Okay, I can trim some
if I go in there and there's one horny conversation that I just want to rip out, I'm gonna be pissed. I'll be like, you could have got rid of this weird stuff.
Yeah, no, there is no horniness. The most it just says is a lady asking her husband to just carry her back to bed and go to sleep. That is as horny as it gets.
She's like, do it like you used to in the old times before the dragon dance happened. And I'm like, fuck, man, why don't you write this for me?
Yeah, don't worry. There is no. I promise there is no horniness in this.
For all of you guys out there that are curious, Lord Inquisitor Dunn's scripts are good. They're very good. They're good episodes. They're very nice, but he gets real horny and he has way too many characters in every single episode. It's like he needs to have everybody pop in to be like, oh, would you like me to give my 2 cents, sir? And I'm like, no, who is this guy? Why is he here for 2 seconds? Get him out of here. Why is he here?
Yeah.
So it takes me like 4 hours to record your scripts most of the time. 3 to 4. Every time I open it, I'm like, oh, I don't even see the like. Sometimes I just see the kilobytes of like how many, because like a script doesn't take that many kilobytes, but yours are always like a few more than everyone else's. I'm like, oh no. And then I open it and I'm like, oh no. And then I see it's you and I'm like, oh no. And then I go through it. I'm like, oh God, look at all the highlights. This psychopath is driving me crazy. All right.
Yeah.
You want to pick an episode?
All right. I know you really love the we could try it. Why don't we do the what if Jon Snow traveled out of Westeros with Tyrion? Because I know you really love that episode. Though I think what was your favorite one? The Valyria 2-parter?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've done so many of these at this point that I'm not going to remember what it is until we start watching it. And even sometimes I won't remember when we start watching it. So like, why don't we put one on that you like? Because I mean, I remember recording a few of these, but I don't like. I remember Military Genius Joffrey Part 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, because you were like, dude, what's wrong? Dude, what the heck is wrong with you?
This guy tried to make like a sexy woman be like, I can change him. I'm like, he's a 13-year-old boy. And you're like, well, technically he's going to be 14 soon. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Multiple things, my friend. Multiple things.
So, what if Tywin Lannister didn't die? What the fuck? That seems like something we would have done at the beginning.
Yeah, it was a remake. I was like, ooh, I get to do so many Winds of Winter fan theories. I get to do Jon Snow.
Well, sure. Why don't we do that one? We'll do the one that you suggested. Yeah, let's do that.
The Jon Snow road trip.
Yeah, right. I like the road trip episodes. They're my favorite ones. I always have a good time doing them, and I get to do. I mean, we can also do some of the recent ones too, because I like playing that weird character from The Mummy.
Oh yeah, Abriel. Yeah, yeah. Let's do the Jon Snow road trip. That way we can kind of, since I don't know how much time you got.
I can stick around for a little while.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I will. Let me slow it down from 2x to 1.5. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the inception of this before we get into it. I just saw this pop up randomly this is the very first one. It was kind of an experiment by Charles to see if this, or Three Eyed Theorist, our boss, to see if this kind of format would work. And I think the first time we ever talked about it was right after we recorded the What If Joffrey Killed Sansa episode, where she kind of becomes a little woods witch. And he was talking about how thanks, man. Appreciate that. That's really, really kind of you. That's very nice. I appreciate that, Torgar. I really appreciate that.
30,000 words to read. I mean, he's given me way more than 30,000 words to read. Even in the last 2 weeks, he's done that. Collectively, you always push the limit. You're right there on the cusp. You're like bleeding edge. We're like, your fingernails are bloody from trying to edit, and I come in and I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm coughing up blood from like doing Harry Potter lines. Like, I've been talking like Dumbledore and Snape all day. Now you're gonna make me do this shit? What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of an experiment to see, hey, could we do a road trip episode? Like where just we divorce it from all of the politics of the Seven Kingdoms.
And I think my
And
response was, what?
I
My
can't
response
remember.
was, hell yes. Of course, I want this. The only scripts that I ever like pitch is like, what if the Hound and Brienne of Tarth were best friends and they just went through the like Seven Kingdoms killing bandits? Like that's all I want to see. So when you pitch this, I was like, yes, please. And everyone was like, well, what happens to the rest of the Seven Kingdoms? And I'm like, who gives a shit? Like, I want to see what happens when they go outside and they just do their own shit. Like, it's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I just went with it and just like, I kind of just discovery wrote this whole episode. Like most of my episodes, I do somewhat discovery write, but this one was just like stream of consciousness. Let's figure this out as we go.
Right.
Just to have random stuff happen and then kind of wrap it up at the end once we get to a nice climax. That was kind of how I did
and
it.
I'll be totally honest. I cannot really remember this episode, but once we start watching it, I think it'll probably come back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get started.
So can I also, before we start,
oh yeah, sure.
the intro for these videos, I don't think I've ever shouted this out before. My friend Chris Murphy is the guy that he did the intro for Darth Theorist and the Three Eyed Theorist, and he did some 3D modeling and stuff for this. Like the Three Eyed Theorist title there is him, and you know he pulled in a bunch of elements and stuff. And his name is the World Mind on the internet. If you find him on if you go to the United Federation of Podcasts and hey, did you see this one? You can see him on all sorts of stuff. He made this intro, and he made the one for our Star Wars one as well, and he'll probably make the one for our Harry Potter one if we ever do. Just to throw his name out there. To the piranha. To you piranha out there.
One second. I just need to edit this really quick.
Oh, I thought we were live streaming.
Oh, we are live streaming. I'm just editing the title since I hadn't picked up what if. So I'm just putting it as What If John on Snow. Yeah. So, but yeah, I this one was basically an excuse to just kind of do a bunch of flex my creative muscles and my comedy muscles.
You think you have comedy
What if
muscles?
Jon Snow joined Tyrion rather than joining the Night's Watch? Let's explore the depths of
Yeah,
it in the video.
everybody does.
You have some advice, bastard.
You have biceps to spare.
Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not.
Are we watching it
I
at
don't like
double
armor.
speed?
You can never be used to hedge.
What the hell do you know about being a bastard?
What the hell do you know about
All
being a
dwarves are
bastard?
bastards in their father's eyes.
Well, you know everything.
Jon watches Tyrion walk away, the words playing over and over in his mind. Something about the dwarf's words appeals to him. Wait, what? Can I travel with you? Tyrion pauses and gives Jon a speculative
Sometimes
look.
I forget
The
that
boy
I
had only
do
just
a
wanted
pretty
to
good
the Night's
impression
Watch.
about these guys.
Oh yeah, you do. I believe you did a fantastic job on pretty much everybody in all of the scripts.
Look how blonde his hair used to be. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back when I was a real lion. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Why the change? Elaborate. I want to learn more. I think you're someone worth standing next to. Well, thank you, Jon. That's something I haven't had happen. If you want to travel with me, I'll let you join my party. Grinning, Jon walks back to Tyrion and offers his hand. Tyrion takes the hand and embraces. When they depart, Catelyn initially wants Ned to convince Jon to join the Night's Watch, but he refuses. If he decides to travel with Tyrion, there is little he can do since Jon has committed no crime. When he says goodbye to Bran, she's even more bitter toward him than before. So Jon travels with Tyrion, often spending time reading
Is
his
this
books
how
and
you
exchanging
listen
insights
to
with
our
him.
episodes?
So you don't
I listened to it at 2x speed.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Multiple things, my friend.
What the hell? It's like fucking trampling over the performance, but okay.
Okay, well I can. Yeah.
No, you. However you do it is fine.
You
I
learned
don't
like
wanna-
King Jaehaerys? Not really. He was rather foolish, just in a subtle way. He reminds me a great deal.
Well, now
of
it
my
sounds like my
father.
brain is slow.
Jaehaerys is defiant by
After
using
hearing
the
it so
power of his dragons
fast.
to coerce people. I don't know why Grandmaster Gildane seemed to like him since the Iron Bank incident alone, where he threatened them rather than coming to negotiation.
This porridge is too cold. This porridge is too hot. Now this porridge is just right. That's how I feel right now.
And short-sighted. Huh. That's actually a good argument. The difference between Maegor and Jaehaerys is that Maegor actually burned people alive, and ultimately Jaehaerys caused the Dance of the Dragons by allowing the Great Council to determine the realm's succession. If he were truly wise, he would have named his successor, whether it be Viserys, the Laughing Dragon, or more prudently, Rhaenys, the Queen who never was. All right, I'll have to think about that. Another lesson for you. People are stupid. They believe a lie because they want it to be true, or they're afraid it might be true. With Jaehaerys, it's the lie of a just king dethroning his evil uncle and creating a long peace, when in reality, it's simply a king holding a giant fire-breathing weapon of destruction over the heads of his subjects.
When they reach the wall. That's good.
Yeah, I really like that conversation. The main reason was it's just we have Jon and Tyrion kind of shooting the breeze, really, just about anything and everything.
And it's different than what you get, right? Like, one of the things that I find with some of the writers on our staff is that, like, they don't stray enough in the direction that you want them to, and this is just like a completely different it's similar, but it's not the same. You know, it's not the same conversation. You're not making me regurgitate the lines that were already said in the book or on screen. You're giving me new stuff, which I like.
Yeah, and partially, like, I get to like dive into some of my favorite my favorite references. Like in that one, it was everybody was talking about Wizard's First Rule, which is one of the worst books I have ever read in my whole life. I really do not like that book.
Is that also sorry, forgive me, I'm not like a super Game of Thrones person. Is that a Game of Thrones book?
No.
What is it?
It's a different fantasy book.
Written by... You were just referencing a book you hate. You're like, fuck this.
yeah. Like
That's
I
funny.
even... Well, it's kind of a combination of things. Like I'll frequently reference the Aragon movie, even though I hate it.
Oh my! I also hate the Aragon movie. Do you know? I think I may have talked to you about this before. This is the only movie I've ever walked out of the theater of.
Yeah.
I've never walked out of a movie theater before, except the Aragon movie. Fuck that movie. That movie sucks.
Yeah, you told everybody, hey, we should go too, and you convinced everybody to leave, I think.
All my friends, not the whole theater, but I convinced my friends to leave, and we all left. Yeah.
But but I've actually used a few Aragon lines from that movie, not the book, the movie, in my scripts,
right?
And just pulled them in because. And
well, I assume you like Aragon, the book series, right?
I have mixed feelings about them.
Listen, you got to remember it was written by a child.
Yeah, I like them, but I feel like actually a very good compliment that somebody gave me after reading one of my books and reading The Dragon in that book. He was like, I can't read Aragon anymore because your dragon is better than his. Admittedly, I was in college when I wrote that, but I felt like that was...
I do like your dragons in these stories, but I do think that you need to keep them in their own fucking lane sometimes, by the way.
Okay.
So when it's a story about the dragons, I love when they're like, the smooth skins are all over the place over here. And like I like that stuff. But as soon as it's a story that's not about them, and then and then you like switch over for like one paragraph to be like, the smooth skins don't, and I'm like, get out of here. This isn't, what are you doing? This isn't right. It's not the right story for this. Get out of here. Like the narrator needs to be in the right mind space. You can't just all of a sudden throw smooth skin at me. Because when I think smooth skin, you know what I think? Whatever you say, smooth skin from like Fallout, you know, like the ghouls or whatever. That's what I think of.
Sorry, I was just like I couldn't resist throwing in Granny Vagar references because it's an amusing meme. There's a script that I wrote a little bit later where she's just this ornery old thing that says, "Why are you stupid?" Just thinking, are you stupid?
You know what'd be funny is like an episode where we do cold hands, but he goes back into like a whole town full of zombies or whatever. And they're all just like, oh God, are we going to have to go again tomorrow? Like they all can talk to each other. But like normal people, when they hear them talking, they're just like, but like, they're actually like, fuck, not again. They're going to make us run at the gates again. Frank and Franklin's his whole family got blown up.
Yeah, we definitely need... I would like to do a more White Walker centric episode. We did kind of have a White Walker centric episode with Jon Snow being reborn with his memories.
Yeah. I think it would be... We could also do like what we did with the Star Wars, where it's just like just go for the just comedic gold and like run for that and see if you can do it. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But like you could also make it dark as hell too, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know the script that's in the pipeline is incredibly dark.
I mean, that's everyone's gut is to go dark, right? Like because it's cool. Like you feel cool when you're writing something, you're like, holy shit, that's the craziest thing I ever wrote. And maybe anyone ever wrote. And then you put it out there and they're like, gay, and you're like, what gay? Don't call it gay. What the heck? It's good. It's good. It's really good.
Well, I think that this one's dark in a similar fashion and heartbreaking in a similar fashion to how A Beautiful Mind is heartbreaking.
Okay, where it's like smart janitor solves problem on chalkboard.
Kinda. It's more just.
All right, I still don't remember this episode, so we have to go through it. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah.
John is relieved when he discovers the state it's in, especially when he spars with the recruits. He is able to trounce them. Only Alistair Thorne is able to match him. However, due to his outside perspective, he's able to see that training techniques for the Night's Watch. He finds that they're inferior to how Sir Roderick instructed him and Rob. Since he's a visitor, Alistair doesn't try driving a wedge between him and the others, allowing John to give him pointers and tricks. Eventually, Samwell arrives at the wall, and John becomes protective of the boy after hearing his story. He asks him to come with his party south.
But my father doesn't have to know. You and I can travel the Seven Kingdoms together with Tyrion. Come on, there's nothing for you here. Besides, what happened to you was completely unjust. I don't know. So long as your father gets to make your little brother his heir, he won't care if you wander around the Seven Kingdoms. So long as you don't come back to Hornhill or press your claim, nothing will happen.
After a bit of deliberation, Sam agrees to come with John and Tyrion. Eventually, they arrive in Winterfell to find a warm welcome for John.
Yeah, you did
a much colder one for Tyrion. However, when John vouches for Tyrion, Rob softens.
It was hard to do because he's like
him
John,
gifting the saddle to Bran also helps smooth things over. Bran is happy to see John.
He's like, I don't know.
And though they plead with him to stay, John tells him that he's going to continue as one of Tyrion's sworn swords. In private, Rob tells John about the Cat's Paw and Catelyn going south to investigate if Bran had been pushed.
Tyrion wouldn't have anything to do with that. It had to be someone else. Maybe the Queen.
Can you be sure?
Yes. I was with him the whole time, and there was no communication south. But just to be sure, what if I were to ask him about it in casual conversation? That's pretty clever. When did you get smart? Traveling with Tyrion.
During dinner, John asks Tyrion about the dagger under the pretext of him wondering.
That's great. I like that. That's a very nice. That's one of those moments that I'm like, when I'm going through a script, I'm like, get it out of here. Too many words. But I'm like, that's good. Like that's a very good. It adds to like the everything, right? It literally adds to everything. Also, I just wanted to stop and be like, pretty good job differentiating Rob and Jon Snow, right?
Like,
I know how to.
Yeah,
I can do it.
I listen to the raw audio and I can automatically tell which is which. There is a pretty easy delineation, even without
even the images being there. Okay, that makes me feel good because sometimes I get really worried that I can't do it that well. But I think I'm doing a pretty good job on this channel, guys.
Yeah, I would agree. There's just a slightly higher pitch to Rob.
Okay. So Rob, he opens his mouth more when he speaks. He does, and I do this a lot. Like I go up in my mouth when I talk like Rob,
and then when I talk like John, I don't move my mouth very much at all. I just go deep and low.
You know, it's me, Rob Stark. I'm here for my mother. She understood exactly what I was talking.
And my mother hates me. She's a bit shaky.
Right? You know?
Yeah,
that's how you do.
I would agree. And like, yeah, as kind of Boba was pointing out, like a lot of this is kind of like we're trying to like just have an actual moment where the main thing is just to kind of set up the kind of tensions kind of being alleviated by this little thing where John stands up for his buddy because he is like, he's my buddy. I know him.
It's so good. Like I tell him to cut shit like that, but like I was like, that's good. Also, you're going to get a lot of me being like, this is how I do voices on this channel. This is going to happen a lot during this. So just be prepared.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited for this. I would love to, I especially would love to do a commentary on the Daemon and Rhea Royce's son, because there was a point where I think you told me about it. You were recording it and you were like, I am so prepared to delete this bit where Lena and Artie are talking. And Artorias were talking, and I remember you telling me when we were watching that episode together, you were like, I was prepared to cut this. I was so worried this was going to be weird.
But I mean, it was. But then it like you did a good job of reclaiming it. I usually don't cut things as I go. I usually like if I'll mark stuff down to get cut. But sometimes stuff is too horny that I'm like too horny immediately. This is gonna get cut. I mean, I don't want like like someone being like, well, Jon Snow, have you ever had your wiener sucked backwards through your butthole? I can do that. And I'm like, okay, what the hell are you doing, Lord Inquisitor? You can't have this in a script. Kids watch this. And Lord Inquisitor's like, well, I was just experimenting with the sex positions and I landed on that one.
Good old breasted boobly. Thankfully, I have never done that in any of my books. I have never done that. I tried to be a little bit more tasteful than that.
Yeah. We all get worried when you say tasteful because we're like, what part are you tasting, you sick fuck?
But yeah, you were worried about that one. You were very worried that it was going to be like.
I thought it was going to get worse as it went. I was like, it's going to get worse. If I know anything about this guy, it's going to get worse. It's going to get way worse.
Thankfully, it turns out it's just he's trying to like be really nice and just like I'm in an awkward situation. I'm trying to be nice, but I really just want to say no.
Yeah. All right, we can keep going.
Bring about the history of such a weapon. Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about. After Jaime lost to the Knight of Flowers, Robert boasted about winning it from Littlefinger. Aside from some Valerian steel writing on it, the weapon looks very plain, but Valerian steel and dragonbone are a rare combination. I was extremely put out with Jaime about that. I lost quite a bit of gold on him. That's what I get for always betting on family.
Rob some housekeeping, some Game of Thrones housekeeping.
The imp said all that with no obvious deception, and he'd ventured the information without hesitation. He'll have to consider this information and try to make sense of the situation. Finally, Jon, Samwell, and Tyrion depart and head south towards the Westerlands. When they get close to the door,
I like
the
that they're
all
together.
Jon
Sam's
steps
there
in the doorway
too.
and grabs Tyrion and pulls him back. Let's wait a moment. Really? Aren't you starving and sore? Yes, but Lady Stark is in there, and I'd rather not have the awkwardness of having the bastard she hates going in there. Let's take care of our horses and have Sam give us the signal when she goes to the rooms. Oh, all right. But Sam, if you would bring us some food while we wait for the she-wolf to leave, that would be appreciated. All right. I'll be willing to do that.
This is good. See, this is you using what has changed to change the story. This is something that some of the writers don't get, is that they're like, well, Marjorie's there now. So what does it mean when Marjorie's there? And all they do is have Marjorie there being like, I'm Marjorie Tyrell and I'm here to create commentary on the situation. Like they're just like talking about it and nothing changes. I'm like, so wait, nothing changes at all. Whereas this is changed, right? Like Tyrion's not going inside of the pub. Sam is going to go in and get them food. And like, this all changes it. This is creative and good. I get so upset when I get some of these scripts where it's like it's just the exact same checklist of stuff going down, but whereas this, I can see everything sort of splintering and going in different directions because you've decided like, well, what would happen here? Jon Snow would not want to go in there and be like, hello, Lady Catelyn, and she'd be like, arrest Tyrion Lannister, and then Tyrion Lannister. So you've changed something. You've changed something big, a major event. This is good, man. This is really good.
Yeah. I was just thinking like, what would happen? And I just had this right before I watched, kind of before I started writing it, I went and said, you know what? I have this funny image in my head of Jon just grabbing Tyrion by his shoulder and like he just sees Catelyn and just goes to the side. I'd rather than go in and just says, no, we're not doing it. Nope, we're not doing this. And
I like this. This is kind of like a nice, because it shows that Tyrion has patience. It shows that Jon has smarts, and it shows that Samwell is willing to go into potential danger. This like gives a little bit about all three of them in a way that is different than what we've seen from the show or the book or whatever your source is,
Yeah.
Good job, Lord Inquisitor Don. This is a good way to differentiate your story from the actual story of Game of Thrones. Keep going.
Yeah.
Unless you have more to say, yeah.
No, I but that's kind of just the main thing where it's just I saw somebody in the comments saying evidently stalwart entry Sam Tarly saves the day.
and Tyrion take the horses to the stables while Sam goes in with Tyrion's money for rooms. While there, Tyrion and Jon continue their discussions. This time, Tyrion explains elements of political maneuvering to Jon. When Sam arrives, he joins the conversation and distributes the food. Tyrion finds himself liking Sam, since the lad has read a number of books that he has, and even a few that the imp hasn't. Your father has a copy of Septim Barth's Treatise on Dragons?
Indeed. It was collected by one of my ancestors just before Baelor owned the books.
I hate that man so much. If Viserys II did in fact poison the idiot, he did the Seven Kingdoms a great service. Finally, once they're sure that Catelyn isn't in the common room, the three travelers and their guards slip into their rooms. The next morning, they have Sam act as their sentry in the common room for Catelyn and Roderick to leave. Once they depart, Sam comes up to let them know.
Well dodged, that one.
Is she really so unpleasant when she's around you?
Trust me, you really don't want to be in the same room anymore than I do.
Rather than taking the straight route to Casterly Rock, the three travelers make a more circular route, visiting places like Raventree Hall, Stonehenge, though they don't try to visit Riverrun since they'd rather not worry about an encounter with the Tullys. Finally, they reach Harrenhal and the God's Eye. The two young men stare upward at towers of Heron's Folly.
Man, the Harrenhal looks so fucking good in both like these concept pieces, like the paintings and stuff, but like even the show, it looked good. Man, it looked cool as hell. It's just like a burnt fortress. Like it's so cool. Game of Thrones is cool, guys.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Groggy? Always a pleasure. Love you, dude. Yeah, Groggy's our buddy, Eddie. Eddie, this is our editor.
Yeah,
Groggy.
He's a very good editor too, by the way.
Yeah, he's been I think you remarked that he's one of the biggest godsends to this channel in a long time.
Yeah. I went after him yesterday because I was like, was this edited? And he was like, it was, but by your tone, I think maybe not well. And I was like, okay, all right, Groggy, calm down. I'm not gonna kill you, but
that was the over 200, the 200 extra word one. Was that the one, or was it a different one?
I haven't even looked at your fucking stupid ass long script yet, you dildo. I'll look at that tomorrow when I have energy. I looked at it today because that was the next one. I was like, I am not doing this. And Charles was like, what? And I'm like, it's too long. It's got so many fucking character voice. I can tell. I'm just looking at it. I haven't even read a single word. I'm like, this is going to take me 4 hours. I know it is. And he was like, okay, so what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm doing the next one. I'm doing the one after that. And then I did it. And you know how long it took me? An hour and a half. Yours is going to take me 4 hours. I know it is. It's too long. There's too many voices, man. Too many voices. You know what it does to me? It drives me crazy. It makes me insane.
Indeed.
You're like, I'm going to put every single female character that existed during the House of Dragons in this episode. And I'm also going to make every character who's male a boy at the start. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Cut the beginning.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It could just be them telling the stories about their boys. That's almost better sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, probably.
The mothers telling the stories of their little boys being like, well, my little boy was like this. Well, my little boy was like this. And then you're not adding like 3 or 4 other boy characters into it. You know, have the moms talk about it, everyone. And you hate moms. I know you do. You kill them all the time. You're like, you know what? This mom's about to die this episode. I don't like how momly she got.
Yeah.
Fingertips on giant. Reverently, Jon runs his hand over the stones.
I'm sorry.
Then, like with the Ironborn trapped inside.
I honestly think it's funny because
like, wait a minute, I do kill moms all the time.
That's actually really funny. Like I kill them fairly frequently. I don't think I've killed Catelyn that much though. Ironically enough.
That's because like killing Catelyn isn't satisfying to you, you pervert. You want to kill a mom who everybody loves. No one really loves Catelyn that much, except for Robb Stark and Bran and Rickon, Sansa and Arya.
Yeah. Though I remember I've killed. I kind of experimented with kind of killing Dany a few times since I noticed that somebody was like, Dany kind of has. Sorry, go for it.
I was gonna say one of the things that I love about Quaid is like sometimes he'll be like, Dany just died. Like it's like he'll just like kill her. Like he won't even like mention it in the story. It's like she died by a scorpion bite. Like she just died on the other side of the sea, and like he gets rid of her that way. He's like, she died. Yeah, like an assassin got her. And it's like, whoa, fuck. He doesn't even have a moment where she, has any importance. She just died. And like she's out of the story. And I'm like, thank God. God bless Quaid just not giving a shit about stuff, about people like caring about characters. He's like, no, she died. She's just dead. I'm like, very good, Quaid, very good.
Yeah.
But then you have other people on our team who are like, they feel the need to go to the end and like explain everybody's backstory about like what happens afterwards, where it's like, well, all these people survived, so now we have to make sure that we get a little like, you know, like at the end of like a high school movie where they're like, they jump in like freeze frames, and it's like, and then Theon went back to the Iron Islands, and you're like, what the who gives a fuck about what Theon did?
Yeah. I remember I remember you talking about that, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start not doing that in that case.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's bad. Why do you do it? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about characters that weren't in the story that you wrote? The thing is, we only care about the story that you wrote, right? So like any other character that's not there, if anybody in the comment section is like, yeah, well, what about like Balon Greyjoy? It's like, he wasn't in this story. Who gives a fuck about Balon Greyjoy? He got killed by an arrow. A stray arrow hit him in the neck. Who gives a fuck? Am I the only one who feels that way? And you know, like,
I honestly, I kind of felt that way. Like I was like, you know what? Yeah, we kind of don't need to have a summary. Like I did it for a few. I think with the Ned raising the Targs, I only kind of did a summary because I felt like it was important to Alysanne
Right.
Stark, because she's on kind of that immortality.
For me, I feel like it interferes with a satisfying ending a lot of the time, because like there are so many moments where like the story ends and it's such a satisfying ending where I'm like, oh wow, and then I look and I'm like, what do you mean there's 4 pages left? And then I look and it's like just a bunch of like housekeeping, and I'm like, now we have to do 3 pages of housekeeping to get to a line that is just as satisfying as the line that would have been good at the end of that moment. And it's like, just end the story there, and it doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to have a moment where it's like, and then they all looked to the north and a cold breeze caught them under their armpits, and they were like, ooh, chilly in the armpits, isn't it? Ooh, maybe the Ice Lord is finally coming for us, or whatever. But like, you know, those moments where it's like, and then he laid down the bow for the last time or whatever, and that's where you end it, right there. That's perfect ending. Don't need to disturb shit. And the people in the comments can go suck their own buttholes or vaginas or dicks or whatever they've got working for themselves. Anyway.
It's why it's kind of why like I mentioned the Alysanne Stark at the end of Ned racing the Targs, which I know that probably took you quite a while to do that part too. to do that one.
I mean, I can't even remember what you're talking about, which means that I probably erased it from my memory because I was like, fuck this.
Oh, it's just about the girl who becomes the corpse queen and then goes into
you know what, I kind of actually like that though, because that story was about her. Like it was kind of about her, so I was like, I was okay with that one, because that one was about her. So like, of course you want to wrap it up because it's about her, but if it was about somebody else and she was just a floating character, then she doesn't need to be like, and then I went back to my ice palace and raised my ice children together with my ice husband. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, I wanted it to just kind of be an illustration of what a character with immortality would feel like, especially when all of her family slowly dies of old age around her, and she's left alone. And just
and that's very cool. And that's a good reason to extend it for 4 pages. But if that 4 pages is about Theon Greyjoy and Sansa Stark and all the characters that didn't matter in the story that you were telling, why is that there, you know? But if it's about a character that you care about, the one that you wrote the whole story about, then fucking go for it. Yeah. One of my favorite episodes that you wrote. Wait, we're going to talk about.
Keep going. Yeah.
I think it was you. Was it you that wrote the one where like the Night King is at the end and like all the children run around in the grass at the end?
It was not me. I think that was the Chandler. I think was the guy who wrote that.
Oh yeah, Chandler. We miss Chandler. Chandler was like almost as good as Quaid. And Quaid is almost as good as you. So I would say that he is like he's 2 steps down from you, but he made this like really, really beautiful ending of a story that I was like, this is like the coolest way to end Game of Thrones. Like this is maybe how Game of Thrones should have actually ended, where I'm like the whole world gets frozen and then like all of a sudden it thaws and there's a bunch of like beetling ding 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 like Hobbit kids like running around and like the ice is melting off them. I'm like, what the fuck? This is amazing. This is so cool. Like fuck humanity. Like everybody warred themselves to death and the ice people turned out to be beautiful little leaf people. Like that's so cool. That was such a good idea.
Yeah, I would agree. That one was what if the Night King bypassed Winterfell and went straight to King's Landing? And yeah, I really love that episode too. Stannis burning Mel, that was just kind of a dark they all die, they lost the war episode, and just ends right when the Night King kills Stannis. Yes. But yeah,
can I go grab another drink real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, I'll keep talking. I'll just kind of. Yeah, you could probably buy HBO, done the mesh site. I love that. We honestly have the best comment friends up in here. I really like you guys and your sense of humor. But yeah, a lot of this is a lot. I honestly really miss Chandler. I think that the him doing the Summer Hall, what if Summerhall succeeded, is such an awesome episode, and I really like it.
Yeah, that was when I was like, oh, Chandler's gonna be a new Quaid. We finally found a new Quaid, and then he got really I don't know what happened. I think he got like overwhelmed with like what we were asking, and I think he only had like a couple of ideas, and he's realized like I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't keep up with this. Whereas Quaid is like, I don't know, I have an idea about like voter fraud. Okay. You're like, okay, yeah, Quaid's got his voter fraud idea, and he's just like, I'm just gonna write a script about voter fraud.
And I know poor guy, he also kind of felt like the fan reception to him was not very good. Like, he felt like whenever read like when I was talking to him, he was really discouraged by like reading through the comments and them saying like we don't like this, etc.
Okay.
And
I can see how that would really fuck you, especially if you put like a lot of time into the script.
Yeah.
Imagine what it would be like if the person narrating the script told you that.
Yeah.
Hey, Lord Inquisitor, I fucking hate this. This is disgusting, and I don't want to read it out loud.
Yeah, the poor. I feel bad now about the group.
You must have like a thick skin, because I tell you that shit all the time, and you're like, all right, I'll try not to make it so horny next time. Anyway,
yeah, I've well, you kind of have to develop it in order to kind of be.
No, I feel like you are the most. You're the easiest person to criticize because you're always receptive, and you're not like fuck this guy. I mean, maybe you are behind closed doors where you're like fucking guy. He keeps telling me to not make my horny episodes, and I want to make my horny episodes. I don't know.
No, it's definitely not like that at all. I actually am like, all right, these are actually good ideas for improvement, and I'm going to try to do them so that we can.
Yeah. And I think they give you some good curveballs every once in a while, right?
Yeah, like I think like the kind of statement about you kind of make all of the ladies in your scripts horny, a lot of them, the love interest just horny, and there's nothing else to them. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I need to fix that. And so I tried to, and I feel like since that conversation, I've been able to improve somewhat.
They become not less horny, but more of characters that have other aspects to them other than just being horny.
Yeah, one of the problems with, at least with Rhaenyra, is just her personality is built on the fact that she's kind of horny. That's kind of the whole story.
I know, man. I mean, you've grown out of it. You've grown out of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe I yelled it out of you. Who knows?
No, I just kind of realized, you know what? I can just keep this in my head, and it doesn't need to go onto the page.
And then you wrote a character that was like, you made a script that was all about a woman, and then all the men were horny, and I was like, I think this guy's just horny. Like he's like, no matter what character I'm the perspective of, I just want everyone else to be like, Fuck me, would you please?
Yeah.
So much history has happened here. Think of it. Daemon, the road prince swapped by these halls. Caraxes and Balerion likely landed within the walls. The great council that crowned Viserys I, an attorney that came before Prince Rhaegar took Lyanna Stark. My father never talks about that. Too painful, I imagine. My father often remarks on those days, mostly rumbling about how much he hated Aerys Targaryen. I'm honestly amazed that he lasted as long as he did. He was the youngest hand of the king in history, right? Yes, and the realm prospered despite the taxes, stripping away Aegon III's reforms. All in all, a good time was had by all. I can see you don't much like your father. That might just be the understatement of the century, Jon Snow. Let's just say whatever Lady Stark's feelings toward you are, my father is worse. I take your meaning. It's not a pleasant experience having Tywin as your father. You're lucky to have Ned Stark as yours, even if his wife is about as cold as the wall. After exploring the halls of
that's a
Black
good
Heron, the three
line,
travelers head toward the
baby.
capital, just barely missing
Yeah.
Ned's departure.
I'm very,
from the north.
very proud of that.
John is disappointed to have missed seeing his father and Arya, but getting to see the capital quickly takes his
And
mind off things.
This is kind of another point where you were like, the story immediately diverges, where Ned is not going to stick around in King's Landing because of the fallout due to Daenerys, the threat to Daenerys' life. He's just going to leave, and nobody's going to keep him around. He's just going to go north, and they're going to miss him. There's going to be no fight in the streets because Tyrion wasn't arrested by Jaime, and they're just going to keep going about their lives. Really, there's no big tension.
So you're like a real-time strategy player, where you're like, I'm gonna move Tyrion here and see what happens, and then okay, so that didn't happen, so now the whole thing is different. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, I'm. Thankfully, the nice thing about it is that I have the map laid out in my head of if certain events are taken out, I at least have some measure of a pattern where it's just like with the Jon Snow Hedge Knight video, where it's just Ned just goes. If Tyrion doesn't get caught, Ned is going to go, and the whole thing subplot with that where he finds out about the incest is not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I kind of have a few patterns laid out where I know
you're like playing Hitman, where you're like, okay, these loops will still happen without interruption, but these loops will definitely be interrupted.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny that Tyrion being taken out is actually like has frequently acted some how to put it some little bits where if this doesn't happen, a lot of things spiral out.
Yeah. So there's one that I've always wanted to. I've pressed it to Charles like a bunch of times because there's a line. I don't know if it's just from the book or if it's from the show, but I remember it being in both. But I might be wrong. And I'll wait till you're done typing before I keep talking.
No, keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
You're like, I know how to type and listen at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't. So that's why I don't do it. So like there's a line, I think it's from I think it might be from both, but I don't remember. It might just be from the show. But Tywin Lannister says like, I wanted to take you into the ocean and drown you on the day you were born, right? And I'm like, what if Tywin did do that? Like, what if Tywin just killed Tyrion the day he was born? Like, how different would the Seven Kingdoms be? Probably vastly so.
I would love to do that. I think the major things that would happen is Blackwater is an automatic loss, but also they would have to figure out how to pin it on somebody else. If they want to start a war, they have to figure out a totally different method. Sorry.
I heard that in your voice. I was like, oh my God, he's AI. He's melting. The AI didn't get enough water.
No, but my thought would be it's kind of in the episodes where Cat dies. I have to figure out a completely different way of
what do you think that how do you think that Cersei and Jaime would interact without Tyrion? How do you think that Tywin would exist after killing his own son? Would he have some sort of weird guilt that sinks him down, or would he be hardened because of the fact that he killed his own son? This is after. So was Tyrion born after or before? Tyrion was born after he killed the Elliot.
No, it's before. He's born
Before. Sorry, I meant to say before. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So if he killed before, that would mean that he was probably even more like willing to kill children like quickly, and like even just like take responsibility for it and be like, children cannot be. Like he would be like, if he killed his own son, he would have almost no reservations about killing anybody. I think if he killed his own son, he'd be like a crazy Dracula. Like he would go through like Vlad the Impaler. Like he would probably just run through Westeros.
I would agree. I really like that. I really want to do that. Actually, it would be really, 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 really interested. Yeah, he's a young kid, and only about 4 years later, Tysha's the Tysha thing happens.
There's two options though, because like these are the two options. He takes Tyrion into the ocean and he drowns him, because like that was a thing. That was either a line in the show or a line in the book, and I can't remember.
I think it's both. Yeah,
I think it's both too. And he says he didn't because he felt pity for him or whatever, because he was my son and I couldn't do it. But if he did it, he would come out of that a changed man, and he would either have complete and weird empathy because he did it and feel really, really bad, or he would feel zero empathy and become like a weird Terminator that goes through the whole of Westeros. You know, like there's two options that you can go with. Which one do you want to do, Lord Inquisitor Dunn?
Oh,
do you want the like, what have I done, or the everyone to me, we're taking the Seven Kingdoms now?
I don't know.
Like the second one. The second one's pretty cool, but like the first one is like interesting. The first one's very interesting because imagine he gained empathy, because the thing is that he has almost none, right?
Yeah.
So imagine after killing his own son, he gains like a weird, crazy amount of empathy, and like he can't do that again. And he's like, "Oh, I killed my own son. I killed my son. That was my boy. What if he grew up to be just like me but shorter?"
Oh yeah, I like that. I don't know. I'd have to think on that, because there's some interesting stuff you could do with both. Like one person, an example that I would think of is the what if Tywin Lannister was the most honorable man in the Seven Kingdoms? I went with the simpler Tywin's a better person. He's kind of like I don't know if anybody has read this. In Wheel of Time, there's a character named Galad Jamardred, where he is very much, I am obsessed with doing the right thing. And he's created his own moral code around it, but he's still kind of prideful and a bit of an asshole. So that's why I made Tywin. Sorry.
Are the Lannisters religious at all? I don't even know.
Westeros is kind of weird because it's a very secular kingdom in a way, where there's the faith of the Seven that exists.
No. I understand how that works. I just don't know if the Lannisters are. Are the Lannisters religious? I feel like this is how I think of the Lannisters. Like the people, they're like the ones who would be like, yes, of course, the Seven. But they'd also be like in private, they'd be like, the fucking Seven don't do anything. It's gold that rules the Seven Kingdoms. Like they wouldn't believe in it at all, right? Because they don't see it working for them except for their own gold mines, right? So they wouldn't believe in any of it.
I would agree.
But then, like, you know, the Tullys or whatever would be like, we saw a guy get revived by fish blood or some shit, and that's why we believe in the fishermen or whatever our seven gods are.
Yeah, I think the Lannisters are more a very, very secular family. Their religion is money. That's a good way of putting it.
I think that's what I was thinking too. Like they pretend like they'll do it for show, but they don't believe in any of it, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the reason I brought that up is because like what if he did that? What if he drowned his dwarf infant son, and then afterwards he like for some reason felt connected to the Seven or something? Like he became like super religious and then became like a Sparrow type figure. You know, like there's a lot of options you can go with.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since like that's kind of one of the things that is going to be really really would break him, is because his wife would have died just hours before
Oh,
as well.
what if she said something to him that was like super religious before she died?
Oh, or even just said our son, and or just asked where's my baby before she dies, and then he still kills the baby anyway.
Or he kills the baby first and he goes back and she's still alive and says that.
Oh, that's great. And then he dies only seconds. And then she dies seconds later. There, I think the implication is that she died. She did die in the childbirth. Like he, like the way.
But what if she wasn't, like she comes back for a second? He's like, you're like, oh my god, and he's like, the baby is. It's like he looks at the window and he sees like a floating lump in the water. I'll go get it. Hold on.
I like that. That's actually a good idea, where it's doubly tragic, and she
that's like a Vader
just starts
death. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, where she just starts crying, where like she just closes her eyes and tear goes down her cheek.
I fear we've
no, I love
about the episode, but I think that we've talked
Well,
about
there he actually gets to talk more with Jaime along with Tyrion. So you decided not to take the black. Probably wise.
Honestly, yes.
How's my
The state
Jaime?
of the
You like my
war was
Jaime?
quite
I like your
disappointing.
Jaime.
Well,
Okay.
well, if it's any consolation, at least half of the Kingsguard, aside from myself and Sir Barristan, are quite lacking. You should have seen Ares' Kingsguard. The best Kingsguard for the worst king. Oh, don't get him started.
The best
He'll
Kingsguard
reminisce
for the
about
worst
Arthur Dane
king.
for hours and hours if you let him. I'd love to hear about that. Maybe I can figure out how my father managed to beat him. I've always wondered that myself, actually. So, he never told you? No, never. He always said Howland Reed saved him and didn't give any details. Well, I imagine killing the brother of the woman he danced with at Harrenhal wasn't exactly pleasant. Wait, what? I didn't know about that. Can you tell me more? I'll never forget that night. It was the night Ares named me to the Kingsguard, the youngest member in history. Everyone wanted to dance with the Sharadane, but the last dance of the night was Eddard Stark, though he had to be encouraged by your Uncle Brendan. So, do you think she could be my mother? I don't know. Perhaps. I'm sad to say she's dead, lad. She had a stillborn daughter, but she could be your twin sister. I don't know anything else. Then I should go to Starfall.
He would say
Maybe
that.
I can get some
Creepy
answers.
twin
Now,
weirdo.
this is a mystery worth solving.
Yeah.
The lady who got Ned Stark to leave his honor at the door. Jaime, would you come with us on this little trip? I imagine that Robert doesn't need you.
I suppose. All right. I'll come with you. Someone's got to keep you and your band of misfits safe.
The group departs.
This is good though. I like that they're picking up like, who else can we get?
Yeah.
Can we get the Hound and Brienne of Tarth and like who are this is like Mass Effect, like picking up the cool characters along the way.
Yeah, where it's like, and I did, one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of like, I was like, okay, where do I go next? And I was like, ooh, Jaime remembers the tourney of Harrenhal, and that's where everybody kind of theorizes Ned met a Sharadane. And I was like, and he would just be reminiscing and saying, like, just as he's reminiscing about the Kingsguard, just the conversation just flows into Ned's dalliance with a Sharadane, or alleged thing with a Sharadane.
Yeah, it's like a horny moment, yeah. As you do in your stories. Yeah, we get it.
It's not a horniness, if that's just
What do you mean it's not horny? They assume that he fucked somebody and had a illegitimate baby. That's the horniest thing you can do.
It's just in the backstory. That's not me coming. That's not me coming up.
Listen, I'm not saying you came up with it. I'm just saying it's horny. Yeah, we know. Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, and also just like now, Jaime kind of gets to be the fuddy-duddy grandpa of the group, since you kind of have to have that one sourpuss who just has to be the adult in the room.
I mean, Jaime is a very good character. Like, you remember his chapters in the books were always just him being like, oh god, like what the fuck, because he's been trapped in this world of like, I have to do this, honor, what the fuck, and he doesn't even really like his sister that much. He just like he's in love with her, which is like the curse of all curses, right? Like being in love with anybody is a curse, but being in love with your sister is like a curse that no one else can know about. You can't tell anybody about that.
Agreed. And from there, like, kind of just I feel like with this one, it just kind of flowed as I was discovery writing it, where I was just like, all right, and then they kind of just mapping out like, all right, let's just go down this little trip of Westeros and just figure out where it goes, and just let them just shoot the breeze, have regular conversations with each other.
I mean, I'm still waiting for when you have like, you always give me like, you know, Salador Sand's accent, and I'm like, yeah, and you're like, do that. I'm like, okay, and then I can do it, but then like, why is Salador Sand never in an episode? You never have Salador Sand in an episode ever. You're like, it's like Salador Sand's accent, but it's not him. I'm like, well, just put him in the episode.
Yeah,
he's cool. He's a cool character. What the heck?
Yeah, I need to involve him because he's kind of I need to involve him more because he's very much an Illyrio. He's actually theorized to be Illyrio's ally because of some little clues that where
I also feel like there's a moment like in my brain where like Davos Seaworth is like, okay, everyone, I'll get there, I'll get out of here, and then he moves out through a door and like, and there's like two more people like shing shing, and he's like, oh hell, and he's like about to like run, and then he pulls out like a dagger, and then behind him like you hear like shing 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 shing, and like there's a bunch of other people behind him, and he's like, Salador Sand, and like Salador Sand like jumps over and like helps Davos, like, you know, like what, Davos and Seaworth are definitely friends. They definitely have fought together on a deck of a ship at one point, you know, like those. Why don't we do this shit? You know, you guys aren't doing your Lando Han Solo stuff.
Now you mentioned, I probably need to. What's this theory about Salador is Illyrio's ally? So, just to answer that question, so in an episode, John Greenwood had this 3-hour-long theory going over all of the details about Pentoshi sausages that just randomly show up in the story. And he explained that Illyrio has been gaslighting Dany for her whole life. And the way that he has been transporting, rather than her going to separate cities, she is only going to Pentos, nowhere else. And the House with the Red Door is the Targaryen's manse in Pentos that they've had since Aegon the Conqueror helped Pentos during the some problems with the Triarchy, or with the rest of Essos. And Salador Sand's ships were the things, because she remembers a ship with a green flag, and the only people that use green flags are Lyseni ships. And Salador Sand was the guy who was in control of the Lyseni fleet, and he was just ferrying her far out to sea and then right back to Pentos, and they never left Pentos ever, because she doesn't know a whole lot of things about even just other cultures or other foods. And so that's the theory around Salador Sand being Illyrio's ally, to explain that. So,
but I mean, Salador Sand is also an ally if whoever pays him gold, right? Like, I think that's, and if imagine Davos Seaworth and Salador Sand together, just ding 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 ding, like fight. That's so cool. It's such a cool visual in your brain, right?
I'll need to figure out a way to put that into a script.
So I see you finally came down to your senses. What the hell are you doing here, Davos Seaworth? Crab boy. I'm not a crab boy. I can do it. I can do it. I can do the voices. I can do them.
Indeed.
Right. Let's go.
The south, though, first they travel through the Stormlands to see Storm's End. Along the way, Jon trains with Jaime, eagerly devouring any tricks that the Kingslayer gives. Jaime is pleased to have a dedicated pupil, and even finds himself liking the bastard boy. There was quite a bit of himself in Jon before the Mad King. When the dwarf's band arrives, they're allowed inside the castle. Jon and Sam look around like green boys, amazed to see such a castle as this. Harrenhal had been huge, but it was a ruin. This was a real-life fortress, impregnable and strong. Jaime and Tyrion both share a laugh. Jon and Sam flush, then try to be more subtle about their gawking. One thing that Jon does is look out over the shipbreaker bay, the place where Aemon One-Eye Targaryen had killed his nephew, Lucerys Velaryon. How must it have been to have Vhagar herself dropping toward you on a small dragon with no escape? Jon shudders at the thought. After staying for a week in Storm's End to resupply and rest, the party departs toward Highgarden, though they avoid going near Horn Hill. When they arrive, the group is hosted by Mace Tyrell.
Fair.
Tyrion and Jaime catch Jon and Sam glancing at the pretty rich girls, especially Lady Marjorie, then exchange knowing looks. However, Jon has
Lady
his mind on
Marjorie,
other
the
things.
woman,
They're
human
extremely
woman
close
who
to
looks like a
Starfall, and
lioness.
answers about who his
I've
mother
never
might be.
seen a
Eventually,
human woman look more like a lioness in my entire life.
Yeah,
I'm not even that attracted to women, but I'll tell you right now, she is like a lady that looks like a lion in human form. Where I'm like, that's a lion that got transformed into a human. Right? Like,
yeah, it's like
that was like a lion that rubbed up against the genie's lamp. It was like purred on it, like, and the genie came out, be like, "Oh, 10,000 years gives you such a crick in the neck."
in the neck.
Yeah. And she's like, "I wish to be human," and she became that woman because she looks like a lion. She looks like a lion.
Yeah, it's Island of Dr. Moreau stuff going on there. Yeah.
Depart for Starfall. At the gates of the ancient seat of the Danes, they're met by an attractive woman with dark hair and violet eyes, along with a young boy about Jon's age with blonde hair, Valeria Dane, the current regent of Starfall, and her nephew, Edric.
Welcome to Starfall, Lord Tyrion. Sir Jaime, our hospitality is open to you. And who are your companions?
Samuel Tarley of Hornhill and Jon Snow, Eddard Stark's natural son.
Jon Snow. It is a pleasure to welcome you to Starfall. Your father is well respected here.
Your welcome is greatly appreciated. But didn't he kill Arthur Dane?
Your aunt Lyanna was abducted by Rhaegar Targaryen and held in the Tower of Joy with my uncle acting as her guard. After his death, he returned Arthur's body and dawned to us. He could have simply kept the sword, but instead he returned it. He behaved with honor, while Arthur did not.
This is a rather interesting discussion, but we actually have a purpose for our visit, mainly to solve a bit of a mystery.
What kind of mystery, Lord Tyrion?
My friend Jon wants to discover who his mother is. We have minimal information, but the only real clue we have is your Aunt Ashara Dane, seeming to have quite fallen for Lord Stark. Could you help us solve this mystery? Alira glances around the group.
So I actually provided this image to the editors, and they ended up using the one they're using now.
Alira swears
and I was like,
comply. She doesn't know
exactly. Come on, I provided you with this
image.
image.
Can say for sure that it's
I've
not
done that before as well.
She knows
but
this.
It's like they don't listen sometimes. They're just like, well, we got to find a picture. Guys, picture. Use your chat GPTs, everybody.
Yeah, I was so annoyed. I was kind of like I remember like they used I provided an image for Tana Merriweather. I was like, okay, this fits. And then they used a different. I was like, that image is so much worse. Why are you picking that one?
Yeah.
Or
I think I showed you my Star Wars the Wookiee story that I did, where I sent like a bunch of pictures of characters, and they just like they didn't even use a single one, because I made a folder and I sent it to them. Like, here's the folder with all the images, and I labeled them like what the characters' names were and everything. And they didn't use a single fucking one. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? And they used all AI images. And I went to Charles after and I was like, Charles, what the fuck? And Charles was like, well, you know, they didn't, maybe they didn't get it on time. And I was like, what do you mean they didn't get it on time? Like, I wanted to lose my mind.
Yeah, I was kind of like, all right, fine. Maybe it's just a cropping thing. And then they, with the Damon Rhea Royce video where they used the wrong image for the character, I was like, no, this is plot relevant. Why? Use the wrong image that I provided.
What I think that it is that we've finally locked down a couple of editors that only now work for us, right? Before they were working for a ton of different people. And the reason that they were working for a ton of different people is because they were just shitting out AI images and being like, this is good, right? This is good, right? And everyone was like, yeah, that's fine. And then we were the only ones being like, no, it's not fine. What the hell are you doing? No, we gave you drawings to use. And they're like, okay, well, you know, the other one said that it was okay. And it's like, well, the other ones aren't here right now. And so we now have not AI images because I think most of us are getting our pay or our say at least.
Yeah, and it was just that it's that they picked one of the images that I did, but it was for the wrong person. That was the funny part. It was just I had provided it, and they just went with the wrong one in the same doc. It was hilarious. It was like, I
mean, I have a couple things to say to you that we can say it right now if you want.
No, you go for it. I want to pull this up.
Sometimes you give too much direction, a little bit too much direction. So sometimes you'll be like, hey Boba, can you watch this video of this Disney character from 25 years ago saying this one line and do the line read like that? And I'm like, no. No, I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that because I don't have time to watch it. And also, I'm an actor. You know that, right? Like, I'm gonna do it how I want. What the fuck are you talking about?
I might. For me, it was kind of this where I was like, I provided you with images.
You didn't listen to anything I just said. You fucking
no, I did.
Yeah,
no, I did. No,
you
I
did not. You didn't listen to a single thing I just said.
Let me prove it.
Okay, go ahead.
What you were saying was, I give too much scene direction, and I put a YouTube clip in there from a Disney thing that happened 20 years ago, and for no good reason.
No,
other than
no, I didn't say for no good reason.
Or for way too much scene direction that isn't necessary.
Okay, so why do I have an issue with that versus what you're doing right now? I don't want to. And listen, the reason I said it is because you did it because you want me to watch a video of somebody giving a line read, right?
Oh no, it's not even a line read. I'm just looking at the picture. They picked the wrong.
Well,
picture.
this is different. This is different. Okay, yeah. Okay, you explain what you're doing here. No, this is different. This is different.
Yeah, sorry. I was just.
What I was saying was that don't give me a line read because I can do the line read. You know, like I can do the line read myself.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Like I understand that now. I didn't fully. I kind of just understand things really literally sometimes, where I don't sometimes understand nuance with things. So my just assumption was, oh, he has something to imitate, therefore it must make things easier. And I didn't realize until you told me a couple days ago about it, that you were like, I just ignore these. I'm not going to watch these clips. Sorry, dude. You'll do an imitation of a voice, but you're not going to do like cadence, delivery, micromanagement. Is that it?
Yeah, it's basically like being like, can you do it like this? And then you imitating it to me. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna do it however the heck I want to do it. But what I do like is when you give me like an accent thing, or like you make it sound like this character. Like give me like just the vibe of a character. Love that. Because I think it worked. Like it worked for Prince Caspian, and it worked for the guy from The Mummy. Like when you give me those, I can embody those characters for sure. But like I'm not gonna just like read it the way they read it. Like fuck that shit. Because like what am I here for then? You might as well use ChatGPT. Like fuck up.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand that until you articulated that to me a few days ago. I think it was last week. It might have been.
I thought that I didn't do that. I forgot. I thought it was a dream where I was like, did I tell that motherfucker to stop doing that yet?
Yeah. Well, and as you've noticed, like I have stopped doing that since then. Because
I mean, I don't know. I haven't read your giant ass script today. I was like, is there going to be a bunch of like, note for Boba, go in here and watch this Disney movie. You have to watch it from beginning to end to understand the character's demeanor, and then go back to this.
No, I there was a couple originally in that script, but I stripped them out because I was like,
I appreciate it. At least you're listening. Some of them don't listen, guys.
Yeah. Well, my thought is like you've got a lot of work that you need to do, and I might as well just figure out how to work within your particular stipulations.
I never considered the fact that you were trying to make it easier for me, but like it was harder because I would listen to them and I'd be like, what the fuck is he doing? Is he trying to make me just like be a robot? And I'm like, no. And then I got mad at you and I'm like, wait, am I getting mad for the wrong reason? And I was. So, here we are.
But you told me, I think it was last Thursday or something. We were in a late night VC, and you were like, hey, I hate it when you do this. I'm not going to watch these clips. Please stop doing it. I appreciate having scene direction and having line direction of what they're doing, but if I'm right, for example, you used like female characters where it's like, since you read all the female characters first, sometimes you just don't have context for some of the line reads, and sometimes you read them flat.
But also, like, if you give me too much direction in terms of like making me read it like that, then you might not get something great out of me. You know, like, what if I have something way funnier and better, right? Like, what if that happened?
Yeah.
Instead of me like trying to imitate something, I just like, I'm like, well, and it's like, it's better, you know?
Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, oh, okay. You don't like that? I will keep it to like just basic direction of to kind of keep it, since I remember like when you said like about the female characters, and sometimes you don't have context for things, like and you sometimes say, I don't like how this turned out because it was kind of flat. I remember you very specifically that you said that, where because you didn't have the context, it kind of turned out flat. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
or no?
Yeah. If like if a character is on a dragon or something, and they're supposed to be like, what the, or like somebody's like really upset, and then I just read it, and I don't have any scene direction at all. I just read it like, well, Father, I can't believe that you would do that to me. But like, you can change the context by being like angry, like, well, Father, I didn't know that you would do that to me. Or you can change it like scared, like, well, Father, I didn't know you would do, like, you know, you change it. So you can do so much with just one tiny word, you know, like I know what to do. All you need to do is put a word in there, because I go through those without context because it makes it easier for me to do it. But like, a lot of you guys don't even give a shit about giving me context, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do sometimes.
That's a very good question. I don't know.
I didn't read it. What did it say? Can we should normalize reading the questions.
Yeah.
My big question about conversations on Dragonback has always been, how do they reach the ear of the other? Wait, is that what it said? How do they hear each other? Yeah. I mean, how do they reach the ear of each other is the same thing as how do they hear each other. I'm pretty sure. Even if they're shouting, yeah. I don't know. And you know what? Even in this show, I don't know. Like I'm like,
I don't know.
And you know what? You're the one to answer it, Lord Inquisitor, because you always make people yelling at each other while they're on Dragonback, and I'm like, fuck off. Just make them get off and talk.
Yeah, admittedly, the couple times where I've had them on Dragonback, I think one of the ones that I'm thinking of is Daenerys against Sarah Blackfire in the Rhaegar Patching Dragons Part 2, where it's very much a climactic moment. And I was like, I don't know if they can, but yeah, I definitely try to. But yeah, for context, I was like, I specifically picked this image and I labeled it as Meraxes on the script, and then they ended up using this one, and I was like, I specifically labeled as the other character. What are you?
Why are these all airport scans?
I don't know. I just
do they look like that for you, or like they look like they're do they have any weapons on them, or?
Oh, I am so sorry. I actually have it on dark mode. Let me turn dark mode off.
No,
what is this? Oh, weird. Okay, weird. Let me shift. How do I turn off dark mode?
I don't care. I don't really care. Let's go back to watching the show. Let's not give a shit.
Yeah, sorry. Whoops. My bad. I apologize. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's get back to it. Yeah, it's just I'm really annoyed about that. I'm really annoyed about that.
Because she is Ashara's daughter. Ashara was pregnant when she came to Starfall, and the father wasn't Ned Stark. It was actually his brother, Brendan.
What?
Yes,
What?
John. But my grandparents adopted me to hide the shame. But there is one thing that John at least should know. Ashara didn't die. She left with your father, who already had you with him. I don't know where she is, but she is out there, and perhaps she knows more. There was a common woman
and
with
perhaps she knows more.
My nephew Edward, while they stayed here. It was told to me that she might be your mother, John. This is admittedly what I've heard from my grandfather, but I believe it's true.
John puts his head in his hands. He'd been hoping that Ashara was his mother, but instead, a peasant woman. The crushing disappointment sinks down on him almost like a physical pressure. Valeria notices John's disappointment and puts her hand on his. John looks up into the girl's purple eyes and feels something stirring inside him as she gives him a look of compassion. Perhaps this was fate trying to rectify what might have been with his father and Ashara by bringing John and Illyria together.
Are you all right, John?
I had always hoped that my mother was a highborn lady, someone beautiful.
Yeah, so this is a very controversial theory where people are like, no, Brandon Stark would never sleep with his brother's crush. And it's like, the idea is that Brandon Stark is kind of an ass. He's a playboy.
It's always perhaps and maybe, but never mayhaps and perchance.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, I just like the sound of. I don't like how mayhaps and perchance sound.
I don't really get. Okay, keep going. Tell me why.
Well, as in, yeah, he has. Well, I just don't like the sound of like mayhaps and perchance because I don't feel like it flows very well sometimes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the show that we're talking about.
Oh no, no! With this one, it was like this is a controversial theory because a lot of people are yell at me whenever I use this, but it's just like they kind of seem to have a weird view of Brandon Stark, where in the books he's described as liking deflowering virgins. Like that's kind of
Isn't Brandon Stark basically Robert Baratheon but Northern?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay, but I mean, I guess, but like maybe I don't know. Like I don't know. How is there a way? Most of these tales are not written. Like they're like tales of people telling tales, right? Like that's the whole thing about Game of Thrones that I love is that tales out of school they rule, right? Like everybody is like talking about a thing that another person talked about. That's what Game of Thrones is. So like I remember reading those books and being like, I love the fact that we don't know what happened at the Red Wedding, at the aftermath of the Red Wedding, but we do hear about it through like campfire stories and like people moving around it, but we never really know what happened outside of when the characters died, right? Like after the aftermath, nobody knows. Remember?
Yeah, there's all sorts of rumors like Robb Stark turned into a wolf and kill people. There's also Robb Stark got a wolf head put on his onto his head.
Well, that's like when it's the sewn on head thing, like that happened in the show, and I remember like watching the show and being like, that was never proven. And then I'm like, I guess it's proven now, but like I'm like, I liked it better when it wasn't proven because like that's a thing that you don't know happened, but like a bunch of people are talking about it, right? And then like there's like the when the Hound leaves, like there was like his helmet got lost or something, and somebody was wearing his helmet and like running around with his helmet, but like he didn't have his helmet, so like somebody else was wearing it. Like this stuff is also cool in the Game of Thrones universe. The show ruins it because it's too visual, you know, where it's like, oh, we saw it, proven fact that happened, it's a fact, but where it's like when people are like, I heard this. That's why I love that moment with Arya Stark and Tywin, which is I don't think is even in the books, where like he's like, tell me what do the Northerners say about Robb Stark go? And she's like, he says that he's got a big wolf head and he fucking rides around over it, and he's like, all right. And can he die? And he's like, and she's like, yes, everyone can fucking die. Like that's cool. Like that's a cool show addition that I'm pretty sure isn't in the books, but it's like that's cool as hell. And it's the same thing. That's the thing that made the books cool, is that like she's saying that, and she none of that shit could be or isn't or is true. Like we don't know.
Yeah,
someone's saying stuff.
Yeah, like in one of my upcoming theories, I have a whole thing where there's 3 different theories about, or 3 different rumors about how Viserys dies in the Dothraki Sea, because a big old game of telephone. Like some people believe the right one. Like they'll say, hey, he got a pot of gold poured on him. No, he had his guts ripped open. He had his belly cut open, his guts ripped out, or he was forced to be dragged naked behind the cowl. The only thing they agree on is he died. The only thing we can agree on is that he died.
He's dead.
And so with this one, it's actually I actually came across the theory just perusing, and I just saw, wait, Illyria Dane, wait, and there's a whole theory about Brandon Stark or deflowering Ashara Dane, because Barristan Selmy says that Ashara was dishonored at Harrenhal, and it was by Stark. And there's a whole bunch of different things. I was like, well, Ned wouldn't do that. So it must have been Brandon. And so
I mean, I read a script yesterday that I was like, this is all bullshit. Like nothing in this script makes any fucking sense. And I didn't know how to. I told Charles, and Charles was like, okay, well, you should get them to send it to me. And I'm like, I'm almost done, but it's fucking bad. Let's just
yeah.
And kind. When I heard about
We're not
Ashara
even a
Dane and how
third
she loved my
through.
father, I thought that I'd solved this puzzle. But it seems she might have been just a commoner. I just hoped it would be different.
I understand. I felt the same way when I found out about my mother, but I'm relatively happy. I'm to marry one Beric Dondarrion, a Stonelaw. I hope that you'll come to the wedding when it happens.
Despite only knowing this girl for a short time, Jon feels another crushing disappointment. She was already betrothed to someone else. Out of his reach, Tyrion puts his hand on Jon's shoulder and passes him gently. Jon nods his thanks toward the dwarf, then looks at Illyria.
Do you think Willa is still alive? Or where she might be?
Only that she went north with my mother and your father. This is all secondhand information from my grandfather, so take it with a grain of salt. Perhaps she's somewhere in the north, living a comfortable life. Oh, and one other thing. There was a short man named Howland Reed there. My father mentioned him as a rather odd fellow that made my mother laugh.
Then there might be someone else who knows. Maybe we'll be able to find Willa.
So we're going all the way back to the north after coming all this way south. Oh, my backside is going to look like a saddle by the end of this.
We don't have to go now. Let's just keep traveling together. Perhaps she came back to Dawn or something.
You do realize that you're setting yourself up for an impossible task, right? There are probably over 100 women here. Also, her being a Dornish woman makes absolutely no sense, considering that it would have been 9 months before you arrived in Starfall.
Wait, Stark didn't have you with him when he left King's Landing, but you were born here in Dawn to a lady named Willa. I don't think Lord Stark would have had a mistress with him during the campaign. Maybe she's originally from the Vale, since that's where he was at around the time that you might have been conceived.
Oh, great. We have to endure the mad ravings of Lysa Arryn to solve this impossible mystery. Someone please destroy my ears now. Jon sinks into his chair. Full impossible.
Is she talking this episode? Is she talk?
No, thankfully no. But
I like when she talks, where she's like, "What the fuck? What are you doing here? Sucky on my boobie."
It's been so long to unexpectedly see your face reveal. No, I've revealed my face a few times on stream. I just mostly have an avatar of some kind, and either this one, lots of time this one, but today I'm just like, I'll turn on the camera, and I'll just have a blur in the background. But yeah, and now we kind of like, there's kind of some interesting symmetry going on here where I wanted to set up where they're just kind of jawing about this mystery and just talking about like, this makes absolutely no sense when we look at the timelines. Since it kind of puts into the perspective, if anybody digs into Jon's story, it makes no sense that he's Ned Stark's bastard.
I mean, yeah, but even Jon knows that. He's like, I don't know why anyone would even say that about me. What do you mean?
Yeah. And there's also kind of the little bit of setup where he's a legitimate prince who falls in love with a bat who's
with a bat princess.
Well, sorry, I misspoke. But basically like a prince who's been hidden as a bastard who falls in love with a bastard who's hiding as a lady. And there's kind of that interesting little symmetry there. And kind of it comes in at the very end, but I thought that would be kind of a neat little thing to put in there. And they're just kind of jawing, and it gives Tyrion a chance to kind of just cynically talk about, oh, great, Lysa Arryn.
Yeah, she knows how to throw a man through a moon door. I've never seen her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of going back and forth. I can't remember whether was that scene particularly hard for you to do since there was like 4 people talking, or just the fact that it was 3 people.
No, I mean, when you have a good differentiation between voices, like my nightmare is when you're like, we got Rob, we got John, we got Theon, we got Jaime Lannister, we got Loras Tyrell and Renly, and they're all in a room, and I'm like, oh yeah, like it's almost like when you put like too many voices through like a blender, a sausage tube, where it's like, I'm like, what? That's too many voices, man. I can't do that many because like a lot of voices are the same. Give me Rob, he's like, give me like a Rob Stark line.
We used to have a purpose, but now we're all a bunch of bickering children.
We used to have a purpose, but now we're all a bunch of bickering children.
That's actually perfect.
Give me a Jon Snow line.
I don't want it. I never have.
I don't want it. I never have.
Give me a Theon line.
My real father died at Winterfell. Died in King's Landing.
My real father died at Winterfell. My real father lies at King's Landing.
Give me Jaime Lannister.
She's hateful, but I'm hateful too.
She's hateful, but I'm hateful too.
So, like, those voices all sound basically the same. When you make them talk to each other, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. Also, cut that out of your podcast. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that I just did that. Give me Palpatine.
Have you ever heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Oh God, this guy came in here and he asked me if I ever heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise over here. I told him no, and I said, you should probably move on, you pervert. Nobody's going to tell you. And he said, I really want to hear about it. And I said, no. And he left. He left. He's gone.
What did you say last month? Wyman Manderley, Robert Baratheon, Rickard Karstark walk into a dark room and no one can tell who is talking.
I did say that. I said that to him because like it's true. Like who the fuck? They're all just like grunting to each other. Like what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I remember in the Robb Stark Saving Ned video, it was a combination of Robb, Great John Umber, and Roderick and Sir Roderick. And I imagine that, and I just got that from Charles. And I got the first initial bits of the outline, and I wrote that out. And I imagine that was probably like one of your nightmare scenarios because it's all a bunch of gruff Northmen and they're doing the same voice.
Also, Jerome Mormont's here. What? Why? I survived.
The rumors of my death were greatly exaggerated.
I said that to one of my bosses.
This entire conundrum.
No,
I love that.
No,
he'd never find out, at least not unless he asked his father, and even then his father might not know where his mother was. However, John looks up and puts on a smile. Well, we've got time. Let's enjoy Dawn for a few weeks. Now that's a plan I can get behind. After staying for a fortnight in Starfall, John finds himself striking up a friendship with Edric and Illyria. The boy is genuine and is a natural with the sword. John often jokes that he'll be the next Sword of the Morning, which makes the other boy laugh. Despite knowing that she's betrothed to Beric, John finds himself more and more attracted to Illyria as they chat, though he doesn't say anything. Eventually, they have to leave, and before they leave, Illyria takes John aside.
I'd like to give you something to remember your time here in Starfall.
Oh, I wonder what
it
is.
Is there some small keepsake that you would have of me?
To simply have met you and see you as a gift in and of itself. I would just appreciate that I can look at the Lady of Starfall one last time to fix your face in my memory, since you are fair beyond any jewel.
You're surprisingly skilled with that tongue of yours, but please, there must be something.
Actually, there was something, but it's too stupid to ask.
What is it? You have but to name it.
Well, if I could have a single midnight hair from your head, I would be content.
Laughing, Illyria smiles and kisses John on the cheek.
So bold and yet so courteous, Jon Snow. You shall have your request when you depart. It shall be a small parting gift for you, Jon Snow. Hopefully, you will keep it as a remembrance of your time here.
When John opens the box,
Yeah,
he
so
finds
it's
a small
the Lord of the
brooch with a sword
Rings
and a star on it.
reference
Inside the brooch,
where
is a
it's-
bird.
wait,
is
I
it?
think I've
I
taken
know,
the
I
best
know what
I
it
can.
is.
I don't
Jesus.
think I'll ever look
Yeah.
at
Oh,
someone as
sorry. You
beautiful
want
as
to tell
that
the
lady again.
viewers? Hey,
Don't think I
viewers
can
out
call her
there.
any-
It's the
Yeah.
Gimli show. He's like,
Yeah.
I would love a tiny little hair of your, maybe off your
Yeah.
bum or your back hair or something like that.
I would say that this is one of the least horny script or like middle scripts that I've done. Like, since most of the road trip ones haven't been necessarily very horny that I can recall.
That's true, but you know,
Yeah.
they are asking for body hair.
True. But at least you specifically said from your head. It would
Have
be
you ever
almost-
asked for somebody from their body hair off their body, or have you ever asked for that?
No.
In anything
No, I've never asked that, and I'm probably never going to do it because my girlfriend, she actually cuts her hair super short so she can wear wigs because
I thought you were gonna say she stopped. She told me to stop asking random women for their hair on at bus stops and stuff like that.
It's
Yeah.
unfair unless it's a gift to me. Oh, God, spare us the melodramatics, Jon Snow. No, let the boy nurse his infatuation. You can't help who you love.
Tyrion gives his brother a
And I
ride
just
monthly
wanted to have
trips
that
into
little
Shroud.
bit where
Together, the four
Tyrion
robbers
takes
go
the
through all
mickey
door.
out of him and
Often
just,
Tyrion will take
ugh,
a lady to
spare
his
us
rooms
the
while Jon, Sam, and
melodramatics.
Jamie simply stay in the common room and talk. One night, after all three of them have been drinking, Jon asks Jamie something that's been on his mind.
So, how did it happen? You killing Mad King? He deserved it by all accounts, but I've never heard why. It's not important, Jon. It's in the past. I opened his throat, and then your father walked in on me, sitting on the throne, waiting for him. I've talked with you, said Jamie. You're not the man my father always talks about. Yes, you don't take anything seriously, mostly, but you're just someone who likes swordplay.
Jamie feels something tug at him. This boy looked so much like his father, but there was a difference in how he held himself, or even how he looked at Jamie. Sighing, Jamie relents. After telling Sam and Jon the story of how the Mad King wanted to burn King's Landing, the two lads
He's
stared
just
at
a
him in amazement.
yawn.
So,
Don't look at him.
you're the
You're
greatest
yawning
hero in all of
yourself to
Westeros,
death.
but you never told anyone? No. And that's how it's going to stay. But no buts, boys.
Wait, can we go back to
I am
Sam?
what I am.
I want to hear what
Nothing
Sam
I say at this
said.
point will change.
See what Sam said?
Yeah.
So, you're the greatest hero in all of Westeros, but you never told anyone? No. And that's how it's going to stay. But
Sam needs an episode, like a good episode.
Yeah, I would agree. I need to figure out a way to include Sam in a theory. I think this is probably his best inclusion so far.
Most inclusions are bad. They're almost all
Yeah.
bad. And I
Yeah.
I don't like doing Sam because he's so close to Jon, but Jon is just, down here where he's just like, well, he's basically the same voice, but just like you get rid of that sort of fog in your voice.
Mhm.
I think he's very funny, and I also think that he could, like, imagine an episode where it's him and no Jon, like no Jon at all. He goes off.
Mm. Okay.
What if instead of him finding like a bunch of glass daggers, he finds like a fucking glass sword, and it's just
Okay.
and just like is fighting his way, and he goes with Bran and all them.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea. What if you went with? That's a really good idea. I like that. But yeah, I think with this one, it's just kind of giving him a different moment and giving it a different spin where Jamie, kind of this curmudgeonly, honorless guy, sees these two young men as like, yeah, I'll tell you the story. And
Well, because I also feel like Jamie has never had ever what like Renly and Loras has, what Sam and Jon has, what like most people have. He only has with Tyrion, and he only has with Cersei. Like he's never had that. He's never had an outside his own family relationship.
yeah, he's never had a friend. And
Who is his friend outside other than Brienne of Tarth, which is like the
Yeah.
best? Yeah, it's
the closest person I can think of in the books is Adam Marbrand, but even then, it's just coworker situation.
and he never respected that's like he is just there with him, right? Like he's never respected someone in the way that he's respected Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah, I would definitely concur with that because
I remember reading those books and being like, come on, Brienne, you can get his ass. You could suck his dick, maybe. You could fuck him in the ass, maybe. You could probably turn him around and peg his ass. Come on, let's do it. And like it didn't happen. And I was like, damn it.
And now we'll never get it because George ain't gonna finish these books.
Well, that's because George has probably never been pegged. He's probably like, well, I was thinking about getting pegged, and I was gonna maybe get Jamie get pegged. Could happen. Chapter 14 of the next book.
Yeah.
The Jamie Peg chapter.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But you would make it into like a torture thing or something. Like,
yeah.
I thought it would be pleasurable, but it turned into a torture.
Maybe. He kind of transitioned to making more consensual like sex stuff in his old age.
Yeah, because he wrote the books in the 90s when he was back in the day where he was like, well, everybody can kiss a 14-year-old if you want to.
Yeah. But now he just like, okay, I probably can't do that much.
Yeah, he wrote like half of it while he was on Epstein's Island.
Maybe.
Well,
But
gives a
boys,
fuck.
I am what I am. Nothing I say at this point will change that. Leave this between the three of us.
Eventually, they reach the coastline where the Arm of Dorne had been, looking out at the stepstones. All four of the companions take their shoes off and let the waves wash over them, staring out at the sunrise.
You know, this is probably the best time I've ever had in my life.
I have to
It's
pee. Is that
refreshing to have
okay?
actual
Can I
friends
pee?
here
Yeah, go
with
for
me.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'll keep chatting. But yeah, with this, most of this is just kind of us being kind of just a vacation with the boys. I think some of the comments for this episode are absolutely hilarious. This one, it's not phase. I just don't feel like wasting 8 seasons of my time on an enemy beyond the wall that a screaming assassin will kill with one shot anyway. You're watching strong. There's so much funniest. So no, screw this crap, we're done. Somebody can just go burn. We're going on vacation. Yeah. And literally Scooby-Doo. Yeah, where you got a trio, a group of people with a dog going across Westeros to figure out a mystery. Other stuff like a bastard dwarf and a direwolf walk into a brothel. Bartender says, what in seven hells is happening in my bar? What's a goat doing here? Who comes up pregnant? Hey, don't think I don't want to charge for that. That's funny. Yeah, there's so many other things. Like, I've seen some weird parts. What are you looking for? Serving your time with the ball? Nah, I'm with the boys. These are so great. Sounds like a children's. I love. Oh, we're about to see that in a bit. Where it's that one is definitely one of the funniest. Get a loser. We're escaping the plot. Yeah, I was just reading through some of the funny comments. They've got some funny comments on these videos. It's great. Now we're kind of getting into the. All right, let's skew off and say, let's go on a treasure hunt.
All right, let's go on a treasure.
So I
let's
thank
go on a
you,
treasure
John.
hunt.
Why me? You started all this, and for that I'm deeply grateful.
With that, the four friends start cooking a beachside meal. After several minutes of enjoying the sunset and the small meal, Samuel decides to break the silence and to try to get them back on track.
So where to now? The neck or the veil? To see if we can find John's mother? Well, actually, I had an idea. I don't really want to have this journey end, and there's something I've been thinking about for my whole life. No, but it's suicide. Only if we're unlucky, which is almost certain to happen. What are you two going on about?
Only
My
if we're
brother wants to try succeeding where our Uncle Girion failed. Likely because he has a secret death wish.
It's not that crazy, Jamie. What in the seven hells are you two going on about?
Rolling his eyes, Tyrion explains to Jon and Sam how Girion Lannister had gone off to find Brightroar, the Valyrian steel greatsword of House Lannister, and never returned. Their only knowledge was that he'd disappeared after buying slaves to replace his crew and sailed to Valyria. After Tyrion finishes the story, Jon and Sam exchange looks.
Come on. Certainty of death. Small
Come
chance
on.
of success. What are we waiting for? Your brother's right. You are crazy, Tyrion.
Tyrion is a very
That sounds
easy
like an
character
adventure.
to be like, come on. He's one of the funny. So because like his attitude is maybe like how I am, just like, come on. What do you mean you don't want to go on an adventure? What are you crazy? We have so many adventures built up over here. He's like, All right, well, I guess we could go. At least on one. Just a small one, though. Just a tiny one, please.
Mini caca.
Just a little adventure. All right, let's go. John's on. John's in. Who's next? Jamie? Oh fuck. Fine.
Yeah, particularly liked having Jamie be the sourpuss, who's like, my crazy brother wants to die. And a lot of this is just kind of it's literally a mopey. Yeah, he kind of is mopey. But yeah, it's mostly his internal monologue that's funny.
All right, let's keep going. I want to get through it.
Yeah.
I'll come.
Yeah.
Why am I suddenly the voice of reason in this group? Because you're the old man out of all of us. Very funny, little brother. Fine. Guess we're all going to Valeria, and most likely our doom. Was that a deliberate pun?
John and Sam double over laughing, assuming Jamie and Tyrion join in. Now that the group has decided on the course of action, they charter a ship and set sail toward Volantis. However, when they do, they're joined by I do
a
Jamie's
person carrying
voice,
a
I
Irish
often,
lever action
it's
crossbow.
like he has sort of like a Swedish Norwegian accent, right? Like,
yeah.
So I do try to do that, but like what I actually try to do is just be like, well, I am Prince Charming. Don't you know that I'm Prince Charming? Like, that's actually like the voice that I'm mostly doing, is like, I'm the best person who ever existed in the entirety of the Seven Kingdoms. And you could kiss me, or you could turn into a frog, or you could turn into a bird or a phoenix. Who knows what would happen when you kiss me? Like, that's sort of like what I do when I do him. But also I try and give him a Norwegian accent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very you want to kind of give it a posh bit with that little bit of of Norwegian flavor.
You're speaking mostly. It's almost like a whisper. You don't want anyone to know. But then when those moments when you want them to yell, you're like, I don't know what to do. You're like, I don't know what to do if Jamie's yelling. I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to do?
Fair enough.
Lyria, what are you doing here?
I decided that I'd like to travel with you boys. When am I going to get the chance to have
with
an
you
event like
boys?
this?
Wonderful. Now we're going to be accused of abducting a lady of Starfall.
I left a letter so they won't believe you've stolen me. Also, the fact that I waited to leave will remove any suspicion on you.
While I appreciate the consideration, are you really going to come with us on our voyage to Valeria?
You're going to Valeria. Now you have to take me with you.
I blame you, John. Why? You know exactly why. Fine.
She likes you.
Lyria casually pulls out a very fat purse and jangles it. Within the hour, the group sets out for
now
Volantis. During the trip,
the token girl joins the group.
Distractions. Tyrion plays Savasi with Sam, John, and Illyria.
So now that we have a woman with us, we can finally get
play better.
this adventure underway.
Illyria sometimes joining them. However, the time that John starts to enjoy the most is something that starts when Sam starts playing a lute. When the boy starts to play a quick dance melody, Illyria grabs John's hand and starts showing him how to dance. Despite being a bit clumsy at first, Illyria patiently teaches John how to dance. That she fell in love with.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but I want to fuck Jon Snow, not Sam. Sam's gross.
I was just kind of thinking I like the symmetry of Ned and Ashara Dane and Ned's adopted kids.
And what do you like about the symmetry of Sam and who? Sam and nobody? You're like, I like the symmetry of Sam balancing out with nobody, as always.
Yeah.
I do. I do like that.
Yeah.
I like Sam being alone.
Or with Gilly, because I kind of conceptualized Sam with Gilly, though I did make him shack up with Marjorie as kind of a little cameo. And the other thing in the Robert Baratheon script, it's kind of a blink and you miss it thing. I was like, I will fully admit, I was like, they've kind of gone all the way down to Dorne. And
you should read these
out
loud, by the way. When someone says something, you should say, this is my criticism of this video. It's, what if Jon Snow traveled to Westeros with Tyrion? Why are they going to Old Valyria? Yeah, I mean, but isn't that the whole point of the video?
Yeah, I guess for me, like when I was reading it, I was like, they get to Dorne, and I have no idea where to go. Do they just go back up, or do they go across?
I mean, the way I would have written it is Jon Snow would have been obsessed with Old Valyria. Like it would have started with him being like, but what if we all go to Old Valyria? And Ned Stark would be like, we can't go to, everyone's dead there and no one will ever live again. And he'd be like, whoa, that sounds cool, Dad. He's like, I'm not your dad. I mean, I am your dad. I mean, just don't tell your mother I said I'm not your dad.
True.
And then, yeah, you know, Do something like
Yeah.
that. Start it like that.
Yeah, I should have probably did.
Start it like a
edited it.
Steven Spielberg movie.
I should have. I think, kind of in retrospect, I probably should have set it up more where they're talking more about Bright Roar throughout, and then Tyrion's like, "Hey, let's go get Bright Roar. I don't want this adventure to end." And
well, I mean, they're already on the quest for Bright Roar, so let's go get Bright Roar.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And then, kind of one of the nice things about this episode is that I was able to just add like little downtime beats where it's no plot progression or anything. It's just the characters hanging out, like they just kind of get into a dance party. Like, they just make a dance party where it's Sam, like, and there's that little setup of like Jon and Illyria together, and they're just going. She's teaching them how to dance and stuff, and they're just kind of having a good time on this trip. Where
I like your instinct of Jon and Tyrion should always be together. That's a good instinct, and I'm glad that you've used it multiple times.
Yeah, mainly because I don't know who else would be good pairings, or other than Robert and Ned. Time
you could make Theon not a crippling piece of shit. Like, he is a piece of shit, but imagine he went with Jon. Like, the only reason he's a piece of shit is because of his dad and his sister and all that. If he went with Jon, like, he'd probably be great. He probably would be way better, because this is the thing I think the thing that we always forget about Theon is that he wants Rob's approval because he wants Ned's approval. Not having Rob or Ned around makes Theon thinks of himself as equal with Jon.
And that's kind of a terrible thing for Theon because Jon's a bastard.
Yeah.
And
so then maybe when it's just the two of them, then maybe he thinks of himself a little bit higher, right?
Yeah, where he's the actual, because he's technically the heir to the Iron Island. He's the heir to the Iron Islands, and Jon's the heir to nothing.
Imagine they go off together.
Yeah.
How would Jon feel about that? Would he think of himself lower than Theon, or would they just be together? And then maybe that's where it gets like there's going to be like a weird Han Solo Lando Calrissian moment where it's like we're equal, like where they're playing like Sabacc or something. Like, what do we do there? That could be interesting and cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I should have done Theon and Jon on the what if the North got the Iron Fleet, but I was like, I kind of want to explore Domeric Bolton since we've never gotten the chance to do Domeric Bolton. I feel like this could be a good way to have him escape his evil brother.
I mean, you say this, but like no one has ever done a good job of Theon. Every single episode that Theon shows up in our channel, he's like a shriveled up piece of shit who's already had the piss kicked out of him, or he's like, I'm better, or he's just immediately good. Like no one's ever delved into his character at all.
I probably should. I need to do that in that case. I probably should. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I'll have to think about how to put that in there. I need to do a better job of Theon, honestly.
Jaime even joins in and helps demonstrate some moves. Not wanting to leave the dwarf out, Illyria pulls Tyrion onto the deck and dances with him. Despite his initial hesitation, Tyrion smiles as the Lady of Starfall dances with him. However, for each dance Illyria gives Tyrion and Jaime, she always goes back to Jon. Ghost often pads around them, wagging his tail as if to join the dance in his own way. When a storm breaks around their ship, Jon and the others do what they can to help the crew. But as they tie down the sails, a sudden swell knocks Tyrion over the side. Without hesitation, Illyria ties a rope to her waist and tells Jon and Jaime to make sure to grab the line. As soon as they have her secured,
I remember this episode now. I do. I finally have remembered this episode.
Lost. He sees Illyria's break the water with
this
is in front of her. Jon and Jaime start pulling the two back into the ship. Once he's safe,
I wanted to very much have a scene where for each person in the party to prove their worth.
To come along was unfounded.
You're welcome, Tyrion.
Don't get a big head.
What we need to do.
Eventually, they reach Volantis and just
So you've heard my episodes of Star Wars where I've done like tons of sound effects, right?
Yeah, I love those, and I love the times where you put in the growls, like with the Robb Stark Wolfhead episode, or the time where the cannibal. Yeah.
I only do that special occasions because I'm like it would be good, but like at the same time I don't have time to do that, right? But like also like when I do this, like I've wanted to do a soundscape for Game of Thrones. I haven't done a single one for like 2 years. We've been doing this channel. I haven't done a single one, but I've done so many for Star Wars because I love Star Wars so much, and I can do it. But yeah, like imagine the wave sounds like.
Yeah.
Like I would easily be able to do that, but like I need time to do. You can't just be like, okay, so Steve, you got to do 14 videos this week, and also you need to put all the sound effects into this one episode. Like, I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the one where I had you sing The Bear and the Maiden Fair. You were like, that took me hours, you dick.
It did take me a long time because you also wanted me to sing another song in that same episode, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, and like it sounded good, right?
Yeah, I think that it sounded perfect. Honestly, like he lifted her high in the air, he sniffed and roared and smelled her there. She kicked and wailed, the maid so fair, but he licked the honey from her hair. And you did it perfect.
And you wanted me to sing like a fucking like
Road to
David
El
Bowie
Dorado.
song or some shit. Like I was like, I can't.
Elton
do
John.
it. Yeah,
Elton John,
same
but
thing,
yes.
same thing.
Yeah. But then I was like, no, it's okay. You don't have to do it. Sorry. I didn't realize that I just remember you saying, like, I'll sing, you just have to give me a tune. And I was like, all right. But I didn't realize, oh, should probably check with you first.
And I did, but I did do it. I did do it.
Yeah.
I did the song, and I even I looked up like how they sang it in the show, and I looked up how it was sang through the fans, and I tried I tried to like link it all. I was like, I think I did a good job. And I put it in, and I was like, I think that's good. And then I got to the second one, and I was like, no. Because that took me like so long. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. This is just an Elton John song. I'm not gonna sing this. Okay. So I just didn't do it. So I was just like, no, you have to cut this whole thing out. And I did cut. Yeah. I cut the whole thing out, right? Like I cut the whole. Song.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. I was like, sorry, my bad. I didn't realize I was on that one.
You do have to realize that I'm a one man. And I do all of the stuff that we like that we do, but I can't do everything. I can't do everything at every second.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard to sing. It's really hard to sing. So like, asking me to be like, can you sing a whole Elton John song? And like, that's a thing that you had in your mind, right? Like you wanted
just a couple of verses. Just a couple of verses was my thought. Not the whole song would have been absurd, and I wouldn't have forced you to do that. I was just thinking a couple of verses, but yeah, if I totally understood.
But what does it line up with in your mind, like visually?
Visually, it was just kind of the moment where he is. He's just kind of when she comes in, like he's just like singing to her. Like that's kind of the idea is that it's like this is to her. And
so visually, like if it was a person like it's a little bit funny, this feeling I have, and like he comes around her or whatever, like you can see that in your mind. But like when it's just me singing it, it's not the same thing with whatever those fucking guys are gonna edit. Like it could just be like like it could be David Bowie like mashing in with Elton John. You're like, what is happening? And, like it wouldn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
And then people would not. They wouldn't. The heart that you want to hit is not gonna hit. I think that the heart that we wanted to hit was that first one. The first one, I think, rocked. Like everybody, because that's from the show, and like it worked. But the second one, I was like, this isn't gonna work. Like we can't do this the way that you want it to work. And also, I don't want to do it. So here we go. So here we go.
Yeah. But this, I think, is one of my favorite exchanges. And you did it absolutely perfectly. Honestly, with this, like this,
embark to explore the city and try to get some preliminary information. At an inn near the docks, Tyrion decides it's time to check their funds. When the dwarf finishes checking their money chest, his eyes are filled with chagrin.
We might have a problem. You can't be serious. We're already out of money. Well, financing all of us across the 7 kingdoms and then passage to Valentis was rather expensive.
I've never claimed to be good at managing money. Then I imagine whores were totally free.
I have a bit of money, but I don't think it'll be enough.
Well, we do have 3 attractive people here, so no.
Damn you. No.
Fuck off, Tyrion. Fine. Take a joke, why don't you?
Tyrion holds up his hands.
This one is one of my favorites.
The editors really went crazy with that one. Like they slapped everyone's face right there.
Yeah, where it's just like he just says, "Hey, why don't you prostitute yourselves for money?" No,
happening. Yeah. Also, for the viewers out there, I do all the voices so that every single one of them going, "No, it was me."
Yeah, it's like, and it's just goes and it's also like the escalating level of profanity.
Yeah. No. What the heck?
Tyrion's like, and just Tyrion's like, yeah, we're out of money, and now they're like, all right, let's figure out a different way.
You guys are all hot. I'd fuck you, but and they're all like, no, and he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll go fuck somebody.
Yeah.
Defensively and concedes that they can find a different option. Eventually, the group decides on a plan.
See you later. See you later, Groggy.
Failing
Love you,
that,
buddy.
to write out the promissory note from the Iron Bank, though the latter is a last resort since Tywin might not honor or approve them. Using a combination of Illyria and Jaime's knowledge of horseflesh, they bet on a series of chariot races. And at one point, Jon even starts riding in a standard horse race and starts out racing the other riders. After a few weeks, the 5 of them are able to buy a small vessel that they only need 5 of them to operate. Soon enough, the ship gets close to the smoke-strewn ruins of old Valyria. Carefully, they sail to one of the broken islands strewn across the smoking sea and disembark. All right, we need to move fast. According to the limited information we and Sam were able to find about old Valyria indicates that there are fireworms, Valerian chimeras, and other experiments. And at least during the time of Daenerys, even a beast that could injure Valerian the Black Dragon.
And yet you thought this was a good idea. Why?
For glory, gold,
and House Lannister, big brother. We're all going to die.
Cheer up, boys. At least it'll be somewhat memorable.
That's not at all.
This is a good episode.
Again, why am I suddenly the only sane person?
Jamie's
in
here.
unison, the group starts.
Yeah, especially like you got to have that one sourpuss who's just like just giving dry commentary on the whole thing, whereas everybody's like, "Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun." And then
I like that no one's doing that though, and he's like, "Well," and he's the one who's like, "Let's go," but he's just being like, "All right, so what do you need me to kill?" And everyone else is like, "We don't know yet."
Especially since
he's the energy of "Let's fucking kill him," but he's like, "What do I need to kill?"
Yeah, I didn't quite get that. My thought was he's like, "Oh, we're gonna die."
Well, who else is saying we gotta go kill it?
Yeah, true. I didn't remember him. I didn't.
You wrote the episode.
Well, I didn't think of it that way. Where I just thought of it as, he's like, and you thought this was a good idea. Why? He's like,
I feel like he still feels that way right now.
Oh, I would actually agree with that. That he's like, I'm probably going to have to do most of the fighting. Thank you very much for bringing me to this horrible place.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good read. I like that.
Wreckage of any sign of Valyrian steel or any other valuables. Though they do find some gold and gems, there's no sign of Bright Roar. Loud sounds coming from elsewhere on the island cause them all to look up in fear and rush back to the ship, right before a large oily scaled paw lashes out from the smoke.
What in the 7 hells was that? No idea. And I don't want to find out.
Yeah,
that island likely doesn't have anything in it. Let's go to another one.
Slowly, but surely.
I very much wanted to have a point where
swimming through the water,
they have some little bit of eldritch stuff where it's like something unknown almost kills them.
Chained men. After a bit of deliberation, Jon and Illyria swim down to the shipwreck and look through the wreckage until they find a skeleton with a lion adorned jewelry. Quickly, they retrieve the skeleton and bring it back to the ship. After a cursory assessment, Jaime and Tyrion identify the body as Tyrion Lannister's remains. Despite the initial success, the search for the sword remains. Finally, they see what looks like the ruins of a huge building within the smoke. After docking their ship, the 5 adventurers and Ghost walk into the ruins. Inside is a gigantic treasure trove of Valyrian steel weapons, armor, and jewelry.
There, the sword.
Eagerly, Tyrion clambers up the pile and grabs Bright Roar, then lugs the greatsword over to Jaime. The older Lannister accepts the sword and leans it against his shoulder. All of them start gathering up a number of valuables.
This is incredible. Why hasn't anybody grabbed?
His words are cut off as a series of growls rise.
Then
from
we see
behind
the
treasure hoard.
first
All three of
antagonist
them
of
have
this.
weapons is a trio of monsters out of Nightmare, a large white lion with strange tentacles growing out of its neck, a ram-headed monstrosity with a long bulbous Oh
tail,
my god,
and
it's
a
like
slim scaly
chimera
creature with a
ass.
serpentine head and cat-like
Yeah.
legs. Valyrian chimeras.
With a snarl, the
Valyrian
lion monster leaps at Jamie.
chimeras.
The snake slithers toward Jon and Ghost, right as the ram charges Tyrion and Illyria. Thinking quickly, Jamie leaps aside
I
and dodges the
remember-
lion's slashing paw.
I remember in the raw audio there was a bit where it said how is it slithering if it has legs? Like when I listened to it, I heard it. He was like, "You're like, why is it slithering if it has legs?" And I just remember bursting out laughing when I heard that because it was just so unexpected.
Those are the things they should leave that in, like leave that in. Like the narrator being like, what the heck?
Yeah, or when you did that whole deliberate drunken slurring of the words with Rhaegar and Robert Reborn, where he's just messing up the word characteristics, and they probably just thought it was you messing up, and it was super funny, and I was so mad because it was in the
where
original
I was
audio.
actually just being like, yeah, yes, yeah, that's rude. You need to tell these editors to leave it when it's funny, leave it in. Why the fuck would you take it out?
Yeah, it's why in the episode with the singing episode, you ad-libbed a bit where he said "ugh" when they say, "Hey, we want to get married in the style of old Valyria to each other," and he's like, "Ugh." So and I was like, all right, I need to idiot-proof this script right now. And so before the editors got it, I put "ugh" and "ugh" at the exact places where you said "ugh" in order to make sure that they would actually put that in, because I was like, this is too good not to leave it because this is funny. Just to have this one character is like, "You people are nasty. You people are nasty."
Ugh.
Yeah, I believe you read me over the coals for that one. Why are you making us not like these people?
I mean, I did. Why did you?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
For me, it was like, what is the most inappropriate thing they could do that would warrant a distraction with characters that have not
For
been
me, it was like,
introduced?
why does he want to sabotage his characters that are nice, that he invented, that are now gross?
Yeah, I just kind of felt, for me, it was just like, all right, what is something that's going to cause a major problem? It was more just kind of a practicality thing more than I want these siblings to have sex. It was
The fact that you said it like that is wow. You sick, twisted fuck.
yeah, no,
I really wanted to be more about like the sales of cars before like making my children fuck each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about?
yeah, it was just like, I was like, what is the thing that is going to cause the biggest political headache and not involve me introducing a whole new character, and I was like, all right, this is pretty much the only thing I can think of that wouldn't require like massively like derailing into
The whole
stuff that would
Yeah,
It
but
was-
I mean, like, it would have been fine if they weren't trying to fuck each other the whole time.
yeah, maybe I should have just made it like we just don't want to get married to any of these people.
Or they just didn't get married.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's the idea of like two twins like being like ding ding we're on the throne now and we're not even married and we don't even kiss each other. Like you could do that. You could do like a weird version of that. Like that would be fine.
Yeah, I should do. I'll have to definitely consider doing that in the future.
Yeah, but you made those characters up. Those were your own fresh-handed characters.
Yeah. I just always think of like Targaryen mental illness.
You're like,
and they're
the only thing that I can think about when I think of a Targaryen sibling relationship is that they have to fuck and they have to marry each other. Like, I can't think of anything else. Why would I?
Yeah, true. I guess it was just like, what would require a
Wait, did you go ew as in like a non? You're like, this Targaryen's gonna marry a non-Targaryen? Ugh.
no? It's
What
no,
the
I don't
fuck
think-
is happening?
no. No, with that one, it was just okay, what's gonna effectively, what's kind of something that's like kind of inappropriate, but doesn't require them to marry commoners or would kind of create a scandal. And I was like, that's the best one I could come up with.
They marry their siblings. That's the easiest one to come up with.
Fair point. I guess I just couldn't think of
I can think of like 10 right now before it was like, I gotta fuck my sister. What are you talking about? All right, let's
Fair enough.
talk about
Yeah,
this
let's keep
later.
going.
Maybe we should do that
Grabs
episode
Valerian's
at
steel
some
spear from the
point.
dwarf and then throws it at the snake creature. This steel sinks into the beast's side and causes it to stumble right before Ghost leaps at it and starts tearing at its throat. John and Jaime together try to ward off the lion as Illyria, Sam, and Tyrion pepper the ram with their crossbows. The creature's leathery hide allows it to shrug off the crossbow bolts. In the desperate move, Sam grabs a Valyrian steel axe and strikes the ram in his side. Screaming in pain, the creature turns and drives its horns into Sam's gut before tossing him aside. John cries out and leaps toward the ram, driving a sword from the pile
What do
of the
you
creature's neck. With a
What do you
shudder,
consider a chimera?
So basically, my thought with a chimera is just any kind of animal mix.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
And it's actually funny. The chimera in this episode is actually a reference to Raid Shadow Legends.
All right, well, let's keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
the monster falls to the ground. Without John to help, the lion leaps at Jaime, sinking its fangs into his sword arm. But the Kingslayer's dagger stabs him in the eye. With its final gasp, the lion digs its fangs into Jaime's arm.
Get this fucking thing off me!
Illyria and John grab the lion's chimera's head and prise its jaws open, revealing the mangled remains of Jaime's arm. John has Illyria help Jaime to his feet. Then he glances at Sam, the boy clutching at the wound in his stomach. Strangely, he seems to be grinning, knowing that Tyrion can't help him with either Jaime or Sam. John helps the other lad to his feet and puts his arm around his shoulders. As he does, sounds of more monsters start rising from the distant smoky ruins.
Tyrion, grab as much as you can fit into the packs, then distribute them between me and Illyria and yourself and our wheelbarrow. We need to get Jaime and Sam back to the ship.
Not pausing to argue, Tyrion grabs several treasures.
So I did want to ask, how do you feel like the action in this went, as opposed to like a lot of the action? Since I remember like one of the things that you said that you don't like is kind of the troop movement stuff, where that's just kind of like boring.
Yeah, I like this way better than troop movement. I hate stories that are like, and then Stannis ordered this to go down over there, and then that happened over there, and then a bunch of other people came into a pincer movement, and they came back from behind, and then the Reach came up the buttholes, and they got them right behind. And then oh, what we forgot about the Dothraki coming from the side. Like I hate that. I hate that so. I like this way better, where it's just like a bunch of people moving around, being like, "What the heck is going on?" Like I like this so much more than like when I have to sit there and read like 2.5 pages of troop movements and like how the fight happened. I want to kill myself with a gun. If I had a gun, I would be dead.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, it's kind of where I remember with the Jon Snow as a hedge knight, I really wanted to, I didn't want like as much like big picture like stuff. I wanted it to be a lot more Oh, really?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. What were you saying? You were going to tell me, like you were telling me about big picture. I'm like, I hate the big picture. Get the big picture out of here. I hate that.
Yeah. Well, no. I what I wanted to do with the Jon Snow as a hedge knight thing, as opposed to like the big picture stuff that you were talking about, is I wanted it to feel more like a war story where we're intimately in Jon's head during the fight. And that like we have like limited perspectives within the fighting, where we go to the generals directing their troops and looking at it, as opposed to kind of a big picture overview. And when we get the action, it's intimate and visceral, as opposed to like grand overview stuff.
Are you? There's sometimes I look at you guys where I'm like, this is a Game of Thrones channel, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know that like every single chapter of Game of Thrones is POV, right? Like they're all every chapter from Game of Thrones is a perspective based chapter.
Mhm.
And then you say shit like that, and I'm like, have you ever read Game of Thrones? Like, what
Sorry,
the
like,
what?
I just
What are you insane? Like, that's what I've been asking for since the fucking beginning of this goddamn channel. Make a Sansa episode where Sansa's just like, I don't know what the heck. Like, all I want is that's all I've wanted. I only want it to be perspective channels. Like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
I might have a heart attack right now. You just said that to me, and I'm like, this is all
Sorry.
I want. What the fuck are you? Okay.
Well, sorry.
Sorry. And your channel is gonna be what? Like, I'm gonna make the. You remember that character who's standing outside of the what are they? The Indorn? What's that guy's name? Like the guy who's like holding the big axe.
Ario Hota.
Yeah. You're like, I'll start my way from here and make my way in through chapters. It's like, that would be a good thing to do.
I would totally do that. Like, it would honestly be really funny just do a whole bait and switch episode where it's like it's one title and then it's just something random. That would
but
be
you
hilarious.
understand why I got upset there.
Yeah,
right?
sorry. Yeah, sorry. I just meant like not like that it is unlike the books, but it's kind of unlike a lot of the other action we do. If that makes sense.
Yes. So, but like I've been pushing for like weird shit for a long time, being like, what if Sansa was a faceless man? Like, what if Sansa, like, imagine Sansa, like, because she is in King's Landing, right? Imagine she goes down into the dungeons and she finds like a person down there being like, hello, dear child. And like, and then she becomes a faceless man instead of Arya. And then like, there's so many things you could fucking do. And you guys are all like, oh, what if Ned Stark got brought back with his memories 10,000 times in a row? And I'm like, fucking do cool shit, dude. Weird, cool shit. And nobody wants to do it because they're scared of Sansa because they think Sansa's a bad character. I'm like, no, I think Sansa is a cool character.
Well, I will say, I did a main character Sansa episode where she becomes a warg and becomes a wandering witch. Remember the episode where Joffrey kills Arya and then Sansa wargs into Joffrey?
Yeah.
Like that one.
I remember that episode. Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to explore Sansa because I do like the idea of Sansa. I agree with you.
So how do you feel about the idea of Sansa becoming a fucking faceless man? That'd be cool. I
would do that. I would totally write that. I'm honestly like, I think out of all of the writers, I'm the person that often does the kind of weird stuff.
There you go.
But yeah, I would like Aegon Reborn as Jon. The original idea was just Jon has Aegon's memories, and it's like, that's not interesting. Let's have them have an actual dialogue and a conversation between each other. That's more interesting. Was my thought on it. Sorry if this is taking so long. I apologize.
We should probably just get through this episode.
Including a set of Illyrian steel armor, and tosses as much as he can into it. Once it's secure, Jon and Illyria help their two wounded into the wheelbarrow, then start rolling it toward the ship. Tyrion holds up his crossbow, watching for anything to come close. Finally, a large four-legged snake slithers towards them, but the dwarf manages to get a lucky shot into its eye, causing the creature to scream and rise.
Did he just say a
Clutching his
four-legged
back, Sam
snake?
raises his own crossbow and
yeah,
fires
that's
into
the point where
the creature falls
that
to
was
the
the
ground.
point
Finally, they
where
reach the ship and
you
shove
were
off,
like, why is
leaving
it
behind
slithering if it has legs? I should have said skittering. Probably bad word choice. I think Grogu would have caught
Jamie's
that.
hand is completely mangled, and there seems to be some kind of rot. We have to chop the hand off. Bite down on this.
No, just let me die.
I'm not letting you die on me. Bite on the fucking dowel now. Despite the Kingslayer's protests, Jon holds Jamie down while Tyrion and Illyria amputate his lower arm before searing it. Tears flow down Jamie's face, though whether from the pain or losing his sword hand was up for debate. Once Jamie is attended to, they move to Sam. When she sees that the wound goes deep and has likely damaged several internal organs, Illyria looks down at Jon and shakes her
Internal
back.
organs.
Dead. Oh, aren't I? No, Sam. You're going to be fine. We'll get you.
He couldn't finish. Where could they go? Nobody within miles of them could help. Seeing Jon's turmoil, Sam reaches out and takes Jon's hand.
At least I proved something to myself. I'm not a coward.
My father will probably choke on his wine when he hears about this.
Despite the situation,
I
the
probably
other
should
adventurers
have
start laughing.
put a scene
I liked
where-
my
John has tears in
Sam.
her
I
eyes.
like my Sam. I did a
Samuel
good job.
squeezes
I
John's
did a good
hands
Sam.
I agree.
It's all right, John. I'm just happy
Especially
he
the
got to die
dying.
with my friends around
Like,
me.
you did a really
I
good
should
job
never
with
have
this
asked you to
scene.
come with me from the wall. Maybe he would have lived. Severus would have gotten me killed. I was dead no matter what happened. And if I had, I would have died a coward, alone, with nobody around me. This way, I'm with all of you. Just stay with me for a while. I don't want to die alone.
As they sit next to Sam, Illyria slides her hand into John's
As
free
they
hand and
sit
squeezes
next
hers
to
back.
his
Eventually,
giant
Sam's eyes close and his
fucking
chest
failing
stops
body.
moving. For a few hours, John sits next to
Yeah.
Sam and Jamie, though eventually Illyria puts her hand on the young boy's shoulder.
John, he's gone. You need to get some sleep.
John,
Don't
he's
leave
dead.
him alone.
Let's go.
I promised.
He's not alone anymore, John. Wherever he is, he's
This
not
is
alone.
okay. Can
He's
I
joined a
pause?
long line of Tarleys
Yeah.
who
This is why we need people to like. We need to give me a little clip of like what it means, because like John, he's gone. Like I didn't know what that meant. Right? I recorded that before the whole thing. If you said like looking at a dead body, someone that you cared about, like you could have given any like, but it's just like John, we gotta go. Like it's not.
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't fully realize that at the time.
And
That was-
does it make you feel bad that he was just like, ugh, and she's like, John, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, how do you?
I felt like there was actually some sadness in there.
John,
Was
he's gone.
there?
You need to get some sleep.
I don't want to leave him alone.
Yeah.
I
Which
promise.
is like I feel like that kind of like it. I feel like it works. The delivery works because she's just trying to get him out of his funk.
All right.
is
Well, you know what?
but-
If you think it's you wrote it. So if you think if you think it works, then let's get the fuck out. Let's get the fuck
He's not
on it.
alone
Not
anymore,
worry
John.
about it.
Wherever he is,
Yeah.
he's not alone. He's joined a long line of Tarleys who died bravely. I doubt even savage Sam Tarley would look down on him.
Unable to argue with Illyria's logic, John lets Illyria lead him back below decks. Not wanting to be apart, John and Illyria cuddle together in one of the bunks. Jamie often sleeps through the days, barely eating unless Tyrion or Illyria bully him into doing it. Now that they've accomplished their quest, they set sail back to Valentis and resupply for the trip back to Westeros. When they pass the stepstones toward the Blackwater to King's Landing, they're met by a startling sight. The walls are hung with the stag.
And here comes all of the politics.
Yeah. What happened? We leave town for almost a year and they change everything. I say we run, or we just resupply and then run. Agreed. I don't think we'll have that option. There's a patrol ship coming our way. Oh, bugger me. I've never seen those standards, but I imagine it's probably Stannis Baratheon. Maybe there was a coup and he took King's Landing. Not wanting to be discovered, John and Illyria hide Jamie and Tyrion below decks in the smuggler's hold, then wave toward the patrol ship. Unfortunately, the man captaining the patrol ship is Davos Seaworth.
Hey.
After only a cursory examination of the ship, he finds
Does
the
he have
smuggler's
lines?
hold
I
and
like
the
him.
Lannister brothers hiding inside.
Yeah.
Well, now this is an interesting crew. The Lannister brothers, a Dornish woman, and a Northerner.
All
And
right,
you're
come
trying
on.
to sail toward King's Landing.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good, right?
I would agree. That is a perfect Davos impression.
I'm pretty
I-
sure I do a very good Devin. Like, what do you mean? I need to talk to you right now. Look at me right in the face. Right in the fucking face. I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, I would agree. You did a great job. I remember you saying Davos is one of your favorites up there with Stannis.
Yeah.
To do. And
I
then,
like
then
this. I like those weird side ocean characters. They're all great. Look at them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I need to do some more Davos Seaworth and Salador Sand team ups.
Yeah.
Stannis will want to talk with you all, especially you, Kingslayer. Sir Jaime has done nothing wrong. None of us have committed any crimes. Oh, that's where you're wrong, lad. Sir Jaime's accused of treason, incest, and breaking his vows.
Both Illyria and John gasp and glance at Jamie, who just looks resigned. Tyrion rubs a hand across his face, noting the surprise on the two younger crew members. Davos sucks his teeth and motions to his soldiers to escort them onto his own vessel and bring both into the harbor. On the way, Davos informs them that after Robert had died in a hunting accident, Joffrey had assumed the throne, only for Stannis to release his allegations, leaving the realm to split between Renly, Stannis, and Joffrey. But after the mysterious deaths of Tywin and Renly, Stannis had taken King's Landing with the Northerners and Stormlanders supporting his claim. Joffrey and Cersei were dead, while Myrcella and Tommen were being held in the Red Keep. For now, the realm is at peace, but Kevin is currently holed up inside Castle Rock. Jamie is horrified to hear of the deaths of his father and sister, while Tyrion simply looks resigned. Within the hour, they're standing in the throne room of the Red Keep, with Stannis Baratheon glaring down at Jamie from atop the Iron Throne.
Well, now, this is a motley group and no mistake.
Okay, hold on.
And
we
stops
need to
faster,
talk
the
about
Lady of Starfall.
my-
I regret to
I think your Stannis impression is perfect.
I think it's perfect too. I think it's exactly what you want it to be. Do you understand that this is exactly how he talks? What's your name? Lord Inquisitor Dunn. I never thought that you could come here and intimidate me and my boys. My boys are behind me. Where are your boys, Lord Inquisitor Dunn?
Invisible.
Invisible, you say? Melisandre, go!
Oh,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
And now it's kind of like this is kind of the climax of John's. This is kind of the climax of John's teaching, what John's learning from Jaime. Kind of there's this payoff, but also it's still kind of wanted to throw in a bit of Les Mis in here, where John buys Jaime's honor back for him by saving his life.
Inform you that your betrothed, Beric Dondarrion, died during the war. He did so very nobly, facing the Knight of Flowers, managing to at least wound the boy. And then we have the Imp of Casterly Rock and the Kingslayer. I'm glad you've come back to face my judgment, Sir Jaime. Saves me quite a bit of time hunting you down.
King Stannis, Sir Jaime has been a loyal friend to me. I won't allow any harm to him.
You can't simply obstruct the King's justice, boy. The Kingslayer has committed treason, and he pushed your brother out a window. His sister revealed everything before we hanged her. John's mind reels as he looks at Jaime, who nods guiltily. Despite that admission, John squares up to Stannis and places his hand on his sword.
I won't let you hit my friend, Your Grace.
Are you defying the King's justice, Snow? I won't allow a traitor to run free.
No. I'm advocating for the gods to judge Sir Jaime. I demand a trial by combat, with me as his champion. John, no. Let me die. I deserve it. Besides, there's nothing left for me to live for now. Don't throw your life away. No. I can't lose you like a lost Sam. King Stannis,
and
do you
I
accept?
wanted Sam's death to have an impact where he's like,
So
no, I'm not going to use none of my buddies.
The large.
When did
pox-marked
Sam
knight
die?
Walks forward and draws his sword. John draws the Valyrian
just
steel blade. He's
right here.
from the wreck of Valyria and engages with the knight as he fights.
Right there, like minute 31, where he's like,
right,
I
he
want to.
did that. Yeah, but that it wasn't very impactful. I forgot about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really? Oh, okay.
you should have
Sorry,
made it
man.
better.
Oh, really? Really?
I should never have asked you to come with me. Well,
Oh.
maybe he would have lived.
All right, just relax. Go back. Go. I was just joking.
Hunting out to win guiltily.
Right.
Despite that admission, John squares just to Jaime. The knight walks forward and draws his sword. John draws the Valyrian steel blade. He's got from the wreck of Valyria and engages with the knight. As he fights, John uses a trick of swordplay Jaime had taught him during their sparring sessions, forcing the knight backward. However, Roland exchanges more blows with John until finally John slips under Roland's guard, driving his sword into the other bastard's leg. Grunting, Roland tries to ward John off, only for his blade to go flying toward the bottom of the throne. John doesn't ask Roland to yield, instead simply putting his sword to his opponent's neck. For a moment, the hall stands still. Then the sound of clapping comes from the Iron Throne. Well done, Jon Snow. Fine, the Kingslayer lives. But I want to make one thing clear. While he will keep his life, he will still be dismissed for the King's Guard.
Fine. Just so long as he lives.
Yeah,
Will you
sure.
also allow me
I
and
used
my
the word
friends to take
fine
Tommen
too
and
much
myself
in this
into custody
exchange. I
and
should.
allow us to lift the siege of Casterly Rock.
You're pushing your luck, Snow.
No,
Fine,
you
take the bastard
do.
and go.
You're
However,
fine.
Kevin Lannister must bend the
You're
knee.
fine,
When they're out of
you're
earshot,
fine,
Jaime stops John and pulls him aside.
Why did you do that? I told you why. You're my friend. Even if you did push Bran, you saved my life during that trip. You helped me find out where my mother might be. However, now that I've gotten you out of this alive, you're going to spend the rest of your life paying me back. So I owe you. Hardly the act of a friend. I'm not claiming anything from you. By saving your life, I bought your debt for honor and duty. I know you're a good man, and I want the realm to see you as I do. You have 2 children who've lost everything. Be the father you need to be.
Whoa,
Feeling
look
a
how
strange
fast
sense of
I'm
warmth
talking.
and acceptance growing inside him, Jaime stares at John, unable to believe what he's hearing. Then he pulls John into a hug. Once they've secured the 2 remaining Lannister children and made preparations to send Sam's body back to Hornhill with a full account of his deeds during their adventures, John and the others set sail around the continent to Casterly Rock. Initially, John thinks that they'll let Illyria off at Starfall, but instead she opts to stay with them and finish the quest, both to return Bright Roar to the Rock and then to find out where John's mother is. When Kevin sees his nephews and former royal children, he eagerly allows them inside. After hearing the full story, Kevin is dumbstruck.
If
Is
I
this
didn't see the
episode
evidence,
after
I
episode
wouldn't
2?
believe it. And you?
Sorry, what?
Does this have an episode 2?
No. I was like, I was just wrapping, like, just kind of doing a scattershot, like,
wrap it up.
yeah. Yeah, I was like, I want to wrap it up. I don't
You
want
both
to do
saved
two
each of my
parts,
nephew's
especially
lives
since
and
this
helped
was
bring back
kind of
the heir of my
experimental.
house and reunited me with
I
my
was
family.
amazed that it did as
What would
well
you
as
have
it
of me?
did.
Just that you surrendered to Stannis
Um,
Baratheon and make sure Sir Jaime gets the opportunity to raise his children safely. It's a hard thing you ask, but I imagine that I'll have to surrender eventually. So I will do so. What of you, Lady Illyria?
She asks that her nephew Eric be fostered in Casterly Rock. Kevin
Yeah,
nods in acceptance, then
this line
sends a letter to
was
King's
the
Landing
result
agreeing
of
to
a
bend the knee.
missing
After
highlight.
Bright Roar has been secured in the rock
One of my
along with
few
Tom and
missing
Marcella,
highlight
the four
problems.
adventurers set sail for the north, specifically the Neck and Greywater Watch. After searching for the ever-moving city, they're finally discovered by a group of crannogmen, led by Holland Reed.
Well, well, Jon Snow. You look just like my old friend Ned. You've been gone a long time. We thought you might be dead. And you, Lady Illyria, you look like a sharp Dane coming in. Thank you, Lord Reed.
Do you like my old man voices?
I love your old man voices. It's great. I especially love your Aerys Targaryen voice. Mad King voice is awesome. I particularly love the "I will not marry my grandson unto a fat frickin' flower and a grasping gold crapping lion. Get out of my court before I feed you to the flames." That delivery was perfect.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. I think I'm funny.
Oh yeah, I think you're hilarious. Like the ad lib of "to the fat," ugh, that's just rude. Flower of Highgarden. I defeated Randall Tarley in your van, and you just kind of the way that you read it was just. I hadn't put that into the scene direction, but you did it so perfectly that I was like, "That's great. That works perfect."
You were with my father and Willa. I'd like to meet her if you know where I can find her. All right. I can give you some answers, but the dwarf and the Kingslayer will stay. No, Jaime and Tyrion will be my friends throughout my journey. They deserve to know. And don't call him Kingslayer. He's a truer knight than you know.
Jaime feels a warmth as Jon defends him. There's something about the lad now, a sense of strength and dignity. It reminds Jaime of Rhaegar Targaryen. Illyria and Tyrion also are staring at Jon, as if seeing him in a new light.
All right, if you're certain. I'll let them in too, but this information will be kept secret. I want your word, Sir Jaime, and you, Lord Tyrion.
Once the two Lannister brothers have sworn themselves to secrecy, Howland and the crannogmen usher them into the Greywater Watch. When they arrive, a woman with dark hair and violet eyes comes out to greet them. As soon as the two women lock eyes, Illyria runs to the woman and wraps her arms around the older lady, which Ashara Dane reciprocates.
Illyria, how did you come here?
We thought we could find answers about John's mother, but I didn't know you would be here.
Big
I never
boobs
thought
and
I'd
big
get to meet you
boobies.
and ask you about what happened.
I'm so happy you finally came to see me, my dear. It's honestly not that complicated. Me and Brandon were intimate for one night. It wasn't really for me, but I did like Ned a bit more. After I found out I was pregnant, I needed a way to escape and protect the family name, and tell them that you were Brandon's child before vanishing into the Neck. And it was also for you, Jon. You look just like your father. You probably don't remember me. I was your wet nurse on the trip north.
So, you and Willa both nursed me?
There never was any Willa, Jon. It was all a fabrication. Only me, Howland, and your father went north.
So then, who was my mother? Is she alive? I'm very sorry to disappoint you, Jon, but your mother died giving birth to you. Oh, well, can you tell me who she was, at least?
Jon, you're not Ned Stark's son. You're the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark. All the secrecy, the faked deaths, they were to keep your identity a secret.
The shock of that revelation causes Jon to stumble backward and grab hold of a chair.
Oh, God.
Jaime have their mouths open so wide it might have been comical.
I'm the
Jaime
son of a
especially
rapist.
shocked that
Oh
after
my
he failed
God.
to protect Rhaegar's children,
What
the
do you
prince's own
mean
son had
about
saved
all
him
of
and
that
his
you
children.
just said?
Illyria
Can
walks
you
to
say
Jon
it
and takes his
again?
hand.
I should have known you were a prince. I always felt like you were more than a bastard.
I'm no prince. I'm not going to press my claim. I'm happy as I am now. I know who I am. But if the Lady of Starfall would agree to wed a prince without a crown...
You forget I'm a bastard too, Jon. I'm just living a different lie.
Seeing a version
I've
of
just
what
got
might
a
have
big
been with
butt
her
and
and
big titties, and I love it.
Indeed. Yeah. She never shows up she's never shown up in the books like at all. So
yeah,
she's
not
pretty
with
much
big tits and big booty that we were just talking about. But yeah, who cares?
Yeah. And so, like, as I was kind of talking about earlier, like, I wanted kind of the symmetry of Jon and Illyria being like Ned and Ashara, as well as kind of the opposite of a bastard hiding as a lady and a prince hiding as a bastard deal. And I also felt like having this be the final piece of their journey was fitting because they'd kind of been working on this. Like this is kind of the impetus for a lot of their quests, and now they kind of get to resolve it, and kind of we can wrap the threads up.
If they'd been different people. Smiling, Ashara takes their hands and places them together, giving her permission for them to be wed. It's a modest affair, with only Tyrion and Jaime along with the rest of Greywater Watch as witnesses. But Jon doesn't care. He's happy to be able to be with the girl he loves. When at last all of their searching and quests have come to an end, the adventurers ride into Winterfell. As expected, Ned and Catelyn are furious to see Jaime.
You have a great deal of nerve coming here, Sir Jaime. Sir Jaime is here as my guest. I already had to fight one trial by combat for him. Besides, without him, I'd never gone to Starfall and met my wife. He crippled your brother. Yes, and now he gets to spend the rest of his life paying for his crimes. If he dies, there's nothing to be done.
Ned examines his son, then glances at Jaime. As if to support him, Illyria walks up beside Jon. Slowly, Ned breathes out a sigh.
All right, if you say so. And thank you for keeping me safe. I know who I am now. But why didn't you tell Catelyn that I wasn't your son?
Catelyn stares between Jon and Ned, a silent question in her eyes. Sighing, Ned reveals everything. With the full story laid out before her, Catelyn begs Jon's forgiveness. For a few weeks, the adventurers stay in Winterfell. Then Tyrion and Jaime declare their intention to depart. Jon and Illyria ride with them to Torrhen's Square,
and
where
you
the two
and
Lannister
everyone
brothers
else.
charter a
Right.
ship.
I was fighting a
Here
rebellion.
ends our little adventure. I'm going to miss you both. Lady Illyria, if you ever have need for a dwarf, I shall be at your service.
Thank you, Jon. I owe you, well, everything. We'll come to see you as often as we can.
And
Now that I
this,
think about it,
the
why don't you
specific
welcome to
of
Casterly
who
Rock?
they address are the
It's
people they saved
relatively
that saved their
Winterfell.
lives.
Yeah, I
during
hate
the
this.
journey.
For you to start your
fucking
family might be
dickhead.
good. I think that allowing Illyria to be a bit closer to home would be a good thing. Actually, now that I'm Lord of Casterly Rock, I think there's an abandoned castle or two that our friends could inherit, especially now that our father's gone. Castamere and Tarback Hall are theirs for the taking. As soon as we get it ready, we'll send a raven to let you know. Jon and Illyria both
call
exchange
that a
looks,
naked
then nod
hall.
eagerly. Finally, the day after their son Sam is born, a letter arrives for Jon and Illyria to come south to take up residence in Castamere. After saying their goodbyes, they set sail for the Westerlands to assume their seat as Lord and Lady of Castamere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like that was a decent place to end it, where it's just here on the shores of Torrhen's Square ends our fellowship. Type deal.
I mean, why not? You know, like, look at those red leaves. There could be a Brandon in those leaves. What do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's only one person watching right now, sadly. Really.
You know what? That one person is definitely being like, those red leaves get me hot. I love those red leaves. I love those red leaves.
Indeed. But yeah, I am actually really proud of this episode, and I feel like it was a strong start to the new tradition of road trip ones. Admittedly, I'm kind of the only one who does the road trip ones, except for one experiment. But
I think we did a good job too. What do you mean?
I would agree. Well, I mean, except for no, I mean, like, as in, I've done pretty much all of the road trip episodes except for one.
And this is the first one that I've been in.
Yeah, this is the very first road trip episode. And I felt like it turned out really well because it was just like a super experimental one where we just said, all right, no politics, no anything, no big armies, just a trip of lads.
Wait, what the fuck are you saying? What the hell are you saying, man? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? I'm sorry.
I know you've been advocating for it for a while.
No, I think this would be a great way to at least show the people that you're a real writer and I'm a real voice actor. What am I supposed to do? You know, like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I like this. I like it. It was fun. It was very fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to do this. Well, I'd like to do this again for another episode. I'd be interested to kind of go over like some of the two-parters. We might have to split those over multiple weeks, though.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe or maybe just not even do them. I'd actually be interested to.
Hey, what I just said does not mean or we don't have to. No, we can do them. We can do them. We can do one week and then one the next. Listen, what I say is not what you say. Come on, relax.
Okay.
I'm not being like, don't do it. I was just kind of like agreeing to what you said.
Yeah.
So next week we're doing the first chunk, and then a week from now, after that, we're doing the second chunk, or what?
Maybe. I actually think that one episode I'd kind of be interested to get your thoughts on is actually the Jon Snow Reborn script, because that one was really out there. It was basically just like the only like romantic, like just romance story that we ever did, where it's just about these two people, and I'd be interested to talk about that one with you, because I think that would be really interesting to kind of go over with you and hear your thoughts on it as the guy who had to do both characters within the story.
Yeah, I mean, I can do that. I can help you out with that. I was the guy that had to do both voices.
Yeah, let's definitely do a Jon. Yeah, let's do Jon. What if Jon was reborn with all of his memories? Since that one was really was very much experimental, because I was like, I am going to stop Jon at dying at the wall. I am not going to do the rest of the show.
Well, what I want to do is maybe some of the ones that I wrote. How about that? What if we do that every once in a while?
Let's do that. Yeah. Why don't we do that next week with the Predator script?
You want to watch the Predator scrict?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that. That
all
Predator
right,
script was awesome. All
right. Yeah. Okay. Agreed. That's how you make business, folks. You're like, some guy's like, hey, do you want to watch my script that nobody likes? And I'm like, nah. Well, you want to watch my script that nobody likes? And he's like, well, I will. I'm like, okay, then here we go.
Yeah, because I remember you showed it to me, and I was like, this is really cool. The atmospheric nature of that script was really impressive, and I would love to like just dig into the writing with you, because I think that would be really cool. Well, and how you like pieced each scene together, and like how you formulated them, and just ask questions. It might take a while, but I really would love to pick your brain more about how you wrote that, because I felt like it was very immaculate personally.
I'd like to go back and take a look at that as well. You know, it's been a while.
Yeah.
What about the Star Fox episode? That's my favorite one.
We should do the Star Fox one. Yeah. How about, what if we were to alternate stuff, alternate between the like stuff you do and stuff I do, and maybe we do that.
Are your parents going to come down and play that piano, or are you okay?
This is not an actual.
Oh shit! Oh, that was your real house.
No, it's not my real. No, this is just my background.
No, I heard what you're saying. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, No, I don't. No,
I don't play piano or make my grandparents stay awake while I play it.
No, my room is a little bit less than stellar, so I'm like, I'll just put up a screen that obscures it, and this felt appropriate. There are others, but
appropriate.
Yeah, I felt like there's others, like I could upload a background, I guess, find something like there's probably something or other. I think this one does this one work? Oh, okay, I'm gonna start using this now. That's great. This is great. All right, I'll play around with this another time, because I actually quite like this. I'm definitely going to use this in the future, because this is great. I love it. This is great. I really enjoyed this. I'm I'm really excited to continue with this particular little commentary thing. I'll probably do some other some stuff on my own that own, but I'll definitely want to keep some episodes in reserve for when you and me do stuff, because I really liked doing this with you. It was really really nice to just shoot the breeze with you, because I think without you this wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have had very much to say about this episode, to be perfectly honest. It would just be like, and this is kind of just meant to be funny. There's not like a lot of like dramatic setup.
I think it was pretty funny though. It was pretty funny.
It was. It's very much like, it's kind of hard to say like analyze the writing of the comedy. Besides, it's funny when when Tyrion just says, well, you could prostitute yourselves. No. Or when John is being all melodramatic about losing it, about like, I'll never see a lady as pretty as that. And he's like, oh, spare us the melodramatics, Jon Snow. I think though there's a little bit more like technical. I'll be interested to kind of like talk about. I'd actually be interested to do some of the stuff that's like more meaty, like Damon and Rhea Royce's kid, because there's a lot of like moving parts to that, and I really want to do that. And I think that would be interesting to kind of chat about with you, because I think that you really understand story structure really well, and you really understand characters well, and I'd be interested to hear more of your thoughts on that.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely,
all right.
freaking brother.
All right.
I've told you a million times, you're the only one that knows how to tell a good tale.
Thanks. I just have to not do horny stuff.
I mean, yeah. Why is that weird to you? Hey, you're really good at telling stories, but you need to stop being horny. What do you mean? I made a story that was great. I'm like, yeah, but half the tale is about like a man hunting a 14-year-old girl, and he's like 30, and he's like, oh, okay. I didn't know that was what I was doing. Well, that is. And he's like, all right, let me rewrite it. And then it's like the best story ever. You're like, oh, what a sweet story that he just told. And then you think back and you're like, wait, it used to have a 30-year-old man hunting a 14. What happened to that tale? What happened in that one? I wonder.
Yeah, maybe one of these days. I know I'll have to. I'm excited for tomorrow, since I imagine tomorrow, because I listen to the audio when I get the alert on Trello that says Boba Blackfly did one of the episodes. I'm like, immediate, go to Google Drive. I need to listen to it. I need to see how it turned out, because I'm always excited, because you always do a good job.
Does it sound good usually?
Yeah. I like how it sounds. Like I just put it on and listen to it, and I started listening to it, I think around the time of Gregor, I think like the 4th episode that we did.
Gregor Clegane.
Right on it was actually the what if Jon Snow had a Targ twin brother deal, which could have been really gimmicky, but I was like, okay.
It was okay.
It was decent. It was pretty good. I'm like, I did the best that I could with a gimmicky concept.
So maybe next time I will show you one of mine. Yeah.
Next time, we'll have to figure out when a good time is. I'm pretty available Monday in the evenings, like after 10. We just do something from 10 to midnight my time, or just whenever you're available, and we'll just pop it in, do a stream, aim on it, and we just do it whenever you want to. Really.
All right. Really. Sounds good.
All right.
Love you, buddy. This was good. This was a fun one.
Yeah, it was. I am really, really happy with how this turned out. Like, I think this will be really entertaining. I'm excited. I did to chat more in the comments. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you guys. I just really enjoyed chatting with you. Thank you, Boba, for coming on. This is a great stream. I'm excited to. I really want to do one of the. I think maybe next time after we do the Predator episode, let's do something that had some like meaty setups. Like I think I want to do once it comes out. I really want to do the Damon and Rhea Roy's son because I feel like that's my best script that I've ever written in terms of like the character stuff, and especially considering like part 2. Oh, really? You don't think that's my best script?
Oh, I thought you were looking at someone else.
Oh no, that's no. But yeah,
I don't know what you think your best script is. If you think your best script is whatever, then throw it at me.
Yeah,
I'll read it with you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, I think that was a good episode, but that's not the one that I liked the best, for sure.
Okay.
I will think about what I think is the best episode. I think the best. Yeah, I think I already know what my favorite episode is.
I remember you saying a while back it was John going to Valyria was the one that you liked the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one, but I think that for real the one where they go with the one that like you just got a part 2 for is like I think I like that one the best. Like that's maybe
that's the one I'm talking about. John going to Valyria with Avery.
They go in, they figure out how to like cut like curses. They're like a whole thing of curses have happened here, and they're like and they get rid of curses. It's cool. It's a cool episode, man. It's very where I'm like, holy shit, this is D&D. I'm like, they're all just running around doing D&D shit, and Tyrion's like, oh no, why am I even here? And everyone's like, shut up, Tyrion. You need to shut the fuck up, Tyrion. You don't even know why you're here. And he's like, okay, all right. It's a good episode. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah, and then like, what do you think of part 2 of that one? Did it live up to the expectations, or was it not quite as good as part 1?
The second one, I like that they like solidified their territory where they're like, no, we own this place. Like that's pretty fucking cool. Yeah, I liked it. Yes, actually, I'll say yes, it did. Because like the first one is them going in and dealing with crazy creatures and shit, and the second one is them being like, how do we make this our home? Like that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I wanted to do a Swiss Family Robinson type deal where
but it's like Swiss Family army knife. They figured it out pretty quickly. They know how to turn their island into like whatever. If anyone comes here, we'll kill you. It's fucking good. Swiss Family army knife is a very good joke. I feel like I just made that up, and that's very funny.
Yeah. I kind of felt like I had to kind of speed run a little bit because I was like, I'm kind of running out of word count. I can't really like really delve into this too much, or else I'm going to go over the word count.
Don't try and make me feel like you're gonna feel sorry for you with the word count. I will choke you to death with my singular wrist. I don't know.
It's why I'm going to be the Damon and Rhea Royce. I'm actually going to make a full novel on that about that story, and actually just write a full-length novel with that story and kind of explore the fully like unfettered depths of like stuff in it. But I am very happy with how this has turned out, and I'm excited for you to read the conclusion, because I think I don't know if it's going to get the same reaction out of you that necessarily the Night King bypassing Winterfell did, but Grogu was like, this is actually like legitimately heartbreaking reading this. This is like super tragic reading this. And I'm really excited to see to do a commentary on it, and especially like with like how part 2 wraps. I'm very excited for it.
All right, don't just relax. You don't need to get too excited.
Well, no, I feel like I just I just really love that story. That's like something that I was just, the images in my head were super clear, and it just felt like I I just had this in my head, and I just put it out on the page, and it just turned out like, oh man, I'm so excited for Boba to read this because I think that he might like it a lot. I'll have to see.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Alrighty. Yeah, I'm really excited because I really am excited to talk about like something that like some of your favorite episode, like your favorite episode at some point together with you, and talk about like why it really appealed to you. I'm really excited for that. And I'm also excited to chat about the Damon and Ray Royce one. And as soon as it comes out, I want to figure out a time to chat about it with you. But we'll definitely do the Predator one first, because I promise you we'll do that one, since I think that one's your like my favorite of the one you did, with a close second being the Shmi Skywalker as the Sith Lord one. I really like that one as well.
I wrote that one.
Yeah, I know. That's what I say. I like that. Because you showed it to me. He was like, can I show you one of the ones I liked? Since you wrote it with your friend Erikel, I think it was, where she kind of gave a lot of feedback and help on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it turned out really good. Okay, friends. I think we will call it good.
Were you have guns pointed at you in the background over there, or what's going on?
Well, I guess we could keep
Your grandma's there like, get into bed, you fucking asshole.
Fair enough, I guess. Yeah, I guess we could keep going. I do have a streaming limit of 20 hours per month. Streaming recording limit of 20 hours per month.
And we're almost at 3 hours. Okay. Let's get out the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I have the free version, so I have to be somewhat economical.
I have the not free version. Like, I could bring us on to the other one, but like not right now. I'm not gonna do it right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll call it good. Thank you all for coming. Let's end the stream here. See you later. Bye.
Bye.